welcome back. This is Fresh, Slick, and Mick. I am Fresh, your hostess with the mostest, here with the popestess who eats the toastest, and also Slick. I don't know, you're here too, bro.
Man, it's like I traded spots with Mickey. I just got Slick.
I just did. Well, I was gonna call you like the brostest, but I didn't.
It's fine.
It's cool.
No, it's totally fine.
How y'all doing?
Well, apparently I'm the popestest with the toastest, so pretty fucking good.
I mean, that's your thing. You're the
That is
Pope
my
and you
thing.
eat peanut butter toast.
I guess if I were to then realize that I have a recognition and people go, "Oh, Pope toast," I think I've made it. I'm officially on my way to stardom.
Like you're someone, finally?
Yeah.
Honestly, like, that's my goal of this podcast is to get Mickey famous.
Oh dear God, I am Carl Pilkington.
Oh, man. He is.
Get me Carl Pilkington.
Get me Carl Pilkington. Fuck.
How you doing, Slick?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I mean, today was all right.
Yeah?
I did a lot of research on this thing. I had
That's
nothing
good.
fucking else to do because I'm a fucking bum.
Yeah, I mean, that's something you got going for you, sure.
Hey, man. It's the best looking bum out there.
No doubt. Whoa.
That I've seen so far, yeah.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm one step away from being homeless, so.
I mean, everybody's technically one step away from being homeless, that step being a home.
One.
I'm 0.5 steps away from being homeless. No, I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. Man, I'm really stoked on these Fresh, Slick, and Mick mugs. We got
Yeah,
our
they-
own mugs now. That's dope.
pretty dope.
I do
It's
like
dope.
seeing our logo on the mug.
On a mug? On
It
something?
feels official now, you know?
Yeah.
It's like 41 episodes in, but now it's official.
I still have
That's
the
all
rough
right.
sketch of this that I wrote on an envelope for my Bell bill. It's got a coffee stain
Dude,
on it.
let's frame it and put it in the stew.
Yeah, I
We
like
should
that.
do
I like
that.
that.
You know what?
That's
Give it
sick.
to me. I can actually get it probably framed for like.
How do you know all these people?
Oh no, I have a coupon.
I just have a random framing coupon
I know
that
a
I've
guy.
kept for a couple years. It's valid till 2022.
That's a very Pope thing to have.
Actually, you just get them at fucking dollar store. I remember I got one for my buddy Sims.
Like a
Okay, then
frame?
what do we
Yeah.
need the coupon for if it's a dollar store, bro?
Well, because I was gonna actually get a nice frame for it, but if you want a nice frame, I can do that. But we can do a fucking dollar store one. See you guys.
Somebody help this man.
I'm doing
please.
it.
Impossible.
I'm gonna do it, but who knows what?
Impossible.
Okay, so today we're going to talk about 5G, which is the next generation of wireless. I don't know about you guys, but I did not know that the G was for generation until we started talking about this.
No, yeah.
I knew, and then I forgot real quick, like years ago, and then I found out today. Again,
You refound out?
I refound out. Yeah.
All right. I dig that.
Yep.
Completely oblivious. I had no fucking idea that the G meant generation.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like most people are oblivious to that fact.
Well, because, dude, I remember when my phone would have the little icon for 3G, and it would flash when my data was going, so I knew whatever it's using data right
I'm
now.
accessing the three,
Yes, the third G.
the third dimension of generational terror.
I mean, I just
Whatever, man.
honestly, I
Fuck
don't know
you.
what I thought it stood for.
It's like
Yeah,
it's
internet.
like with the SNES. Oh, it's 32 bits. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. and then the Nintendo 64 came out. I'm going, I don't know what the fuck is going on. It's like, did the 64 stand for something? Did it have anything to do with the 32?
I think it's.
It specifically had to, yes.
Well, I think,
Two of the
but I don't know
things
what it
equal
means exactly.
64?
Like the bits and the, I don't fucking
Graphics,
get it.
dude.
Well, yeah, but I don't get it. I'm just
That
saying,
was
I
like
don't get it.
20 years ago. You never found any of this out?
Well, I just enjoyed the experience. I didn't.
Amazing, bro. Yeah, no. So it's like, tell me, you were trying to explain it to me before. So what are the G's 1 through 4 again, please?
Okay, so I am not a scientific.
You're not a space science?
I'm not a space science, but from my understanding, from my reading and my 2 hours of research on this giant topic, 1G or the first generation, I assume would be like radios, anything that was like wireless communication, right? So walkie-talkie kind of low frequency waves. That's
So
1G.
so the generations are of wireless
Of
communication?
I believe wireless communication on any platform, whether it be messaging, just the relay of information. So voice, data, text, MMS, any of that. That's what we're dealing with. Any way to communicate something to somebody else wirelessly.
Wirelessly, okay.
Second generation 2G would have just been the phone you could only text on and call, right? So the Motorola flip phones or whatever. No, that's the first G would be like the big brick. That's like
But would
a
that
big
be
radio.
Would that be 2G?
No, that'd be first.
No
two,
shit.
2 is when texting came in, messaging, SMS.
Oh.
This is from my understanding.
Okay,
I don't
okay.
know how right I am.
Yeah. Okay. So this here says that 1G was analog cellular. So basically the first
Cell phone.
cell phone. So
Which-
so radio is something different.
No, it's not because cell phones use radio waves. It's the exact same
Well,
thing.
okay,
It's just
fair
probably
enough,
a
fair
higher
enough.
frequency than what certain radios would use. Anyway, so 2G is with the text. 3G is data was introduced.
Right. Okay.
4G, I believe the thing that changed with 4G, other than the frequency rate of the radio waves, is that you could FaceTime pretty much live interaction. So like Instagram and like Facebook Live and
Right.
FaceTime. I don't even know the fucking terms for these, but I think I'm saying that right.
Would it have been like almost impossible before without being directly connected to the internet? Essentially,
Yeah, pretty much. Like so now you can FaceTime people without Wi-Fi connection,
Got it.
right?
It.
And 5G,
So this essentially is just like rate of data transfer.
it's rate of data transfer. That's
Got
it.
it.
Which is actually pretty. It's kind of amazing.
It's
At the
amazing
same time, it's scary.
and becoming more important and becoming more scary.
Yeah.
Like just one after the other. Everything I've been hearing about it, I'm just going, I don't know, man. My biggest issue, just as of late, with the connectivity and what they want to do, which we'll get into that later, is just like hacking. Is that going to be easier?
Well, right now you can be, if you have a Philips Smart LED light bulb that is controlled from an app, they can actually hack your entire house, like anything on your smart home, through your light bulb.
Cabin time.
Christ.
Yeah. So yeah, anything that's connected to the internet, you can hack on. Doesn't matter what it is. So you can get hacked through a light bulb.
What I was wondering is it now going to be easier in the 5G?
I really don't know.
Yeah.
I have no fucking idea. I mean, I assume it's just going to be easy no matter what. People always just find easy ways to get around things.
Well, this has been the constant fear with increasing connectivity, right? But what has actually happened to anyone?
I don't know. The entire U.S. election.
Oh,
You know what? They just the Iowa
got really
caucus,
real.
dude. The Iowa caucus that had an app, and then fucking crashed.
I didn't know that.
You didn't know that? Oh, for
No.
the Democratic Party that just happened. They had an app which has some shady beginnings. Let's just say that we won't go into too much detail, but people they were using the app to count, I believe, not vote, count, and the app crashed. Like it just
What?
and send it into Havoc. They're supposed to get the results within hours. It's been days and it's still not counted. I think it's 97% of the data's in now. Yeah, it's all a bunch of that's fucked up.
fucked.
So yeah, it's I mean
And they did it like this, so it's not like there's any paper ballot to fall back on.
yeah, exactly.
Jesus.
Kind of I think I don't know the ins and outs of the paper ballot, but no, some counties in Iowa did do the paper. They counted and called the results in, and some tried to. I think it's all paper, and you just count and you put it in through the app. You know what I mean? You enter your numbers in the app.
Oh, so it just never got to whoever
Got to
it
the
gets to.
the chair. Yeah.
Jeez.
Anyway, it's a big debacle, but there you go. Real world. I mean, 2016 election, they're saying there's meddling and fake ads. And I mean, if you hack into something and you have an insane, speed of transfer rate for data, you can pretty much just upload anything you want instantly and get out of there.
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly technology played a massive part in that. But what I don't understand is okay, so this is essentially the argument against any technology, right? And that doesn't sound reasonable to me. So is there something particularly insidious about 5G itself, or are we just talking about the ways that it'll be used? Because you can say that about literally anything, right?
Well, essentially from what I read, what everybody wants the 5G for, most importantly, is just essentially better tech and AI uses. That's really
Really?
That from what I've been finding, that's their biggest goals is to make it more accessible.
Not to totally shit on half of your answer, but better tech is very generic. So
It is. Well, that's what I mean. I'm going. What the fuck does
It's
better
not-
tech mean?
right.
It's faster.
That-
This is what it is. The 5G makes everything faster,
Okay.
like by a lot.
Well,
Right.
Actually, I got. I don't know how speeds work, but I got roughly 20 times faster.
Yeah, it's actually insane. So I got some.
and I mean,
I can find
speeds
it.
are pretty good now.
Yeah. So
Well, that's what I mean, right? Like, what am I missing out on? If let's say
Instantan-
Canada never jumped on 5G, what are we really missing here? Because it's pretty fucking quick right now. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
oh, it's super fast.
Unless we're on my Wi-Fi for some fucking reason.
Well, fair enough.
Okay, so there's some claims of 5G that I stumbled across that will better our society.
Okay. Who's making these claims?
This was from Infographics. I don't know if you guys know Infographics.
Okay.
Not Infowars, Infographics.
No, but like where'd the info
On
come
YouTube.
from?
I think this. I actually don't know. It's on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure Infographics is funded by the Bill Gates and Melinda Gates Foundation. Yeah.
Okay. Word.
I'm. Don't quote me on that. I'm fairly sure. I should actually do some research, but that's the channel on YouTube this came from.
I just before you get into this, like you just said, like you should do some research, but this was you trying to do some research. It is so frustrating, which is like part of the fun of us doing these topics that are a little less emotional, a little more informational, because like nobody fucking knows anything.
No, and I'm actually going to get into that about my troubles researching this.
Like the simple fact that I didn't even know what the fucking G stood for.
Yeah.
And that probably applies to a lot of people because I'm not a technological illiterate, but I'm more so a lay person.
Right.
You know, I'm not dumb, but there's just so much and as things get more and more advanced in their areas of specialization, it's just so much harder to know anything. And then how do you make any legal assessments about ethics, like when we're talking about AI and shit like that?
Well,
when nobody knows it, the average voter doesn't actually know how this shit works.
Yeah.
Well, the average person doesn't know but how laws are kind of cultivated and how they're put into practice. Like, have you heard of Pepita?
Pepita?
Pepita.
Like
Is that a type of bread?
No, it's a sunflower seed. Or not a sunflower seed, a pumpkin seed. Toasted. Toasted pepitas.
Spice?
It's an act.
Pepita and paprika.
It's
I'm sorry, Mickey.
Pepita. Now,
Y'all
okay,
want a salad?
so Pepita is I don't know what the word is when it's.
I thought you knew what it was.
Well, I do. Personal Information Protection and Electronic Documents Act. So that's what we work on in Canada, and that's protecting your rights and your privacy and your through technology, through the uses of technology and stuff like that.
Right.
So like your passwords and the people hacking into your shit, like that's illegal. You can't do that sort
Right.
of thing. That's the act in place for that. But you're right. Where does it come in for AI? That's not there yet, right? And that's fucking weird.
And I don't want to get into AI right now. All I was saying is that it's so hard to fucking know anything.
The limits,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I think it's like a moral. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that either. But
All right,
okay, so
all right. Yeah,
some
yeah,
of
so
the
go ahead,
things
bud.
from infographics that I picked out of their video, the positives on society are going to be like smart houses, smart cities, medical. So like remote controlled surgeries by robots,
Right.
but controlled by a surgeon. Autonomous cars, virtual reality and augmented reality, and drone control. And why they say this is because of the rate at which the data can be transferred at is almost instantaneously. So right now with 4G, your latency or the lag
Yeah.
is 100 milliseconds. With 5G, it goes down to 1. So it pretty much happens right away. And that's why they say, like, you can make all this stuff happen in real time. So one of the examples given in this video was if a bridge needs repairs and it has 5G capabilities, it can send it to the hub and people will instantly know when the bridge is breaking or something like that.
Or you could be having a nice, Sunday with your dogs down by the river, and a chunk of the bridge falls like 20 feet away.
Right.
That could
Yeah.
also happen. Like
Yeah,
it happened to me.
It can also
Jesus.
happen, especially.
Oh yeah, man, I was under there. That shit. that bridge is ridiculous.
Holy
Just a
fuck.
bit. Just a wee bit.
That bridge is like both Windsor and Detroit personified. Like, we'll get to it. It's holding up.
It's all right, but we're gonna build like 4 more Dollaramas before. That's it. Yeah, so those were like the benefits that they pushed, I guess, on there, and pretty much it's just connectivity within.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole deal is basically what faster speeds of data transfer will allow.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
It seems like it's mostly important for autonomous cars and drones.
Drones, autonomous car. I mean, it's important for if you want a smart city, like if you want your city to become a smart city, I guess.
Sure.
It's important for everything.
What is the advantage of a smart city? Like what gets and I'm not even necessarily skeptical because I think that AI can figure things out that we get blocked by emotion and whatnot. But like what specific like I know that the go-to is traffic,
Yeah.
but
That'll
what
help.
else?
I was thinking with the Samsung fridges that can actually look inside your fridge.
In order, yeah.
Well, that's what because like they and of course it's connected to the internet, so they can see what you buy.
Right.
They being the infamous they.
Right.
Whoever they may be. Whoever they may be. So I just imagine you go like, oh, milk's gone bad. Takes it out. Some sort of mechanism takes out the bad milk, disposes of it, and then a new one comes in from God knows where. Smart city.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
No? Am I thinking like way too futuristic?
Yeah, like make it like teleportation of milk cartons.
No,
That's-
like I'm like thinking like a lot of like rail systems, and I don't know. I'm thinking way too science fiction.
like almost like how can I past future? You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
like retro futuristic.
like Jetson stuff.
Yeah. Like there's like vacuum tubes, like
Yeah, that's
80,
vacuum tubes, that's what I was
100,000 mile
thinking.
long vacuum tube that's gonna just bring a bottle of milk to your fridge. It's like we can transfer data crazy, but we still got to build these vacuum tubes under
Yeah.
the entire city to everyone's house.
Doesn't that technology, like the idea, exist? Didn't somebody invent a vacuum tube that could transport people?
It's called the Hyperloop.
Okay, yeah. So there.
Elon Musk.
Okay, so there it is.
Well, no. But like,
said
yes,
people.
yes, you're right. But vacuum tubes did used to be a thing.
Oh, they still are. I mean, people use them in factories and stuff to send messages just across.
Do they actually?
Yeah, man, it would just pop up.
Do they know about phones or?
This was before phones, fresh.
Well, you said they still use them.
No, they used to use them, or they
Right.
used them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure some people, if you got to run a document halfway across a giant plant, I'm sure they still have them. I'm fairly sure I've seen them either out of commission or being used still in just random.
I just remember seeing Mr. Burns had them on The Simpsons, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
like, what is this?
Yeah,
Like,
but
it's a real thing.
It's a real thing, and now they're doing it for people, which is the Hyperloop, and
Yeah.
that's Elon Musk, and it's the giant vacuum tube with a train that goes 735 miles an hour.
See, there I could see them
Crazy.
really needing 5G if they're gonna traffic people through tubes.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
you
like
would
if you're gonna have a city, say like Manhattan, right? It's just a clusterfuck of a cluster,
Right.
and if you're gonna implement autonomous vehicles and buildings that can like literally talk to some sort of home base, like town, city hall, or whatever, you need a really fast rate of data transfer to maintain that city. And that's just one city in the world.
Yeah.
So if all these cities want to start becoming smart cities because people want to move to smart cities, and I don't know why people want all this, but they do,
they want to do less and think less.
I guess. And 5G is pretty much the only answer to that. If you want to, put autonomous vehicles, autonomous buildings, smart houses, all these things, you're going to need to do the 5G thing.
So the question that I have is 5G requisite for autonomous vehicles? Because I don't remember anybody really talking about this. Like they've had vehicles that could make these, what do they say? They make like 11,000 decisions per second as they correct the car along the road, but those aren't on any network.
Exactly. So you can make a self-driving car without 5G because
Right.
all the data it's like your brain,
Self-contained.
it's like a nervous system really. Right. Your brain, the car's brain is processing it internally and making its decisions internally. But once you have other cars and no one's driving and you got traffic lights and it has to read the road, that's when it has to start relaying data of what it's doing to other cars that are relaying data back to what it's doing,
Right.
what it's supposed to do at the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, to make the grid, you need really, really fast rate of data transfer.
It makes sense, and
Yeah, it does.
I'm not scared of it in that regard because I honestly, the way people drive, I've said this forever, like it can only get better.
Yeah.
Oh God, I hope. I had a guy doing 100K on that the central bump there.
Oh yeah.
And obviously it was Dodge Ram 1500, and he
Dodge
was
Ram
right on my
1500?
ass, man. I
Trucks.
swear, if I didn't drive my mom's car, I would have brake checked him. Anyway, yeah, I'm not scared of it in that capacity either.
Okay.
Mickey is, I think.
I'm scared for a lot of different reasons. Again, my thing, like I said from the beginning, is like the hacking thing. Because like if things are happening so quickly, once they're in, like, are we fucked? You know what I
No,
mean?
I
Because
don't
everything happens so quick. Can you just pop into the next vehicle, et cetera, et cetera?
But dude, think about how many things are on networks now and how relatively little this affects us. You know, you hear once every couple of years about some crazy shit that happened. They got into this or that database.
Yeah,
I
but
remember when my PlayStation identity got stolen and I got a bunch of free games out of it because they felt bad.
Well,
luckily my credit card wasn't attached to it.
See, but I'm not thinking about people stealing data, people stealing this, but like legitimate, like we'll call it 5G terrorism. I'm going to hack into the system and cause car accidents. I'm gonna cause
If you keep
buildings to
snapping,
function.
I'm gonna snap.
I'm so sorry. It's a very
I don't
nervous
think
habit.
that you're scared of 5G. 5G is just how fast you can move data. You're just terrified of like
Life.
a city having a brain.
I'm
Because once a city has a brain, yeah, you're right. It's susceptible to a hack, right? And if that brain is controlling the traffic and someone does get into that and hacks it any way they want, theoretically, yeah, they could cause a mass chaos, right? So I think you're more fearing the actual like connectivity of it all, not really how it's connected.
No, the how is well minus what we're gonna get into.
Yeah,
in a
that's
moment.
a different thing.
But yeah, I'm scared of bad people. Like,
oh man,
Yeah, but that's kind of the point about all of this, right? Is that it's just a technology. At least I think it's just a technology. You know, in the
what aren't
hands.
they telling us?
Oh fuck! I don't know. What aren't they telling us?
Well, do you want to pop into some of the concerns people are having?
Yeah, go for
like,
it.
So-
is it going to kill us? Like
Like,
those
is
concerns?
it, because I've seen some
eventually.
shit, you know, shady YouTube videos and shit that make it look like everywhere that you place a 5G tower, like everything just dies around it.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
don't know how true that is.
Exactly, right? Like you could very well stage that.
You could very well stage
Very
that.
much so. My biggest issue of late has been, not of late, but doing this research, is they seem to dance around the questionable possible problems. Like they're the words they're using, I'm going like I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I feel like I can smell bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like I'm reading some of the stuff, and I got literally typed in, just because like, you know, when you type in, you'll get that response, right? You know, like, oh, am I this? Oh yeah, you are. There it is. But
Yeah.
I literally typed in, will 5G cause cancer?
Right.
Just to see what I would get back. And all these articles that keep popping up, they don't talk about it. They just talk about what 5G has to offer and how it's going to make our lives better. And then it's like, oh, but don't worry about these radio waves are non-ionizing, so therefore blah, blah, blah. But technically this, and I'm like, you keep dancing around it. Just either say it is or it isn't. It weirds me out.
Well, hold on. An explanation of why it isn't is not dancing around it.
No. They barely touch on it. They go, oh, this is kind of a problem. But anyways, you know what I mean? Like, it's just kind of like they acknowledge that it's in your mind. But
No,
then
I
they
don't
move
know
on.
what you mean because you literally just gave the reason that it's
So-
not threatening.
No,
So-
the issue is they don't have enough evidence to say it's safe or not safe. They don't know. There's not enough. There hasn't been enough done because in some tests, male rats will grow a tumor on their heart. In other tests, nothing happens. There's not. What's that word? Irrefutable? Is that the word?
Well, there's
Well,
no irrefutable.
that is a word, yeah.
Like proof?
Yeah.
Am I using that term correctly?
Yeah.
Wordsmith fresh.
Yes.
There's not enough proof to make it safe or unsafe. Like it's just kind of possibly unsafe. That's where
so
it's at.
what you would essentially have to do is demonstrate that a certain amount of usage over a certain amount of time does not cause adverse effects before you could call it safe, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There's
because
not conclusive evidence is the fucking term I was looking for. God.
well, the thing is what would be conclusive? What is the time span you're looking for? Because a lot of the alarmist concerns about cell phones from 20 years ago and further back have proven to be absolute nonsense. So why would this be any different?
Go, Mickey.
I was gonna say what I've been reading is the fact that 5G will be constantly running.
This is all constantly running.
It's
But-
all, yeah.
But
We have
but more. You know what I mean? Because like we do have
Six
our towers
devices
going,
in this room.
but it's going to like more than so many more towers are going to be in place now. Like it's like
But-
tenfold. How
But
many?
do you
towers?
know why that is?
Yes.
For the connectivity, for it to be faster.
Because-
I'm sorry,
No,
for it to
no.
be faster.
But why? Why is that needed, Mickey?
What? I'm sorry, I'm lost now.
Because it's a higher frequency.
Yeah.
So the waves are small.
So
Yeah.
the waves are shorter. So that's all that means.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not like they're putting them everywhere like
No,
fucking
but it-
security cameras.
But it also depends where the waves hit on the spectrum, because magnetic electric. Bleh,
Electromagnetic energy.
thank you.
I got you, bud.
That fucking spectrum is pretty large,
Yes.
and there's the radio side of it is split up quite a bit.
From what I've found, there was a gentleman, Robert DeMott, who is a doctor and has a doctorate in electromagnetic energy and radio waves, like understanding him. He said that we're looking at these these waves are going to be well below ionizing radiation, which is like gamma radiation.
Right, or X-ray, or
So, a study from 2005, a little bit old, which is kind of alarming. And by the way, I pulled this from an article written in December of 2019.
Okay.
So again, still kind of alarming. That the Institute of Electronics Engineering found, quote, no adverse health effects that were not thermally related. I'm like, okay, so but what about everything else? So not thermally related, fine. What about everything else? What is there something?
Do you even understand the sentence you just said?
Yeah, they said no adverse health effects that were not thermally related.
Right. Meaning what?
That things that are not thermally related, there's no problem. So what's wrong with the thermal part? I feel like something's being, again, I couldn't find any more
Heat.
information on this.
Heat.
Yeah.
No.
So there's problems that are not thermally related. So that means there are problems that
No,
are thermally
you just
related.
you literally just said no adverse health effects that are not thermally related, meaning the only adverse health effects are thermally related. Meaning if you put a hot iron on your balls, it's gonna fucking hurt.
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Oh.
Can we just pause for 1 minute and go back to
go get a hot iron?
Yeah, and
I don't
and
want
some
a hot
balls. No, we have to go through the waves, like all of because you just saying these things non-ionizing, like no one's gonna know what the fuck that means. I didn't know what the fuck that meant
Well,
until
non-ionizing radiation.
yeah. But
is-
before you get into these guys' studies, let's define the spectrum,
Okay.
where things hit on the spectrum,
Hold on.
and all that.
Mickey was so flippant and cocky about non-ionizing radiation. I really want to hear him explain this.
Okay, well, first of all, I'll let him explain the ionization and non-ionization.
Okay.
I'm just gonna go through the waves here.
Well, no, the only thing I got for they're saying that the waves are not ionizing.
No, I know.
Right.
So let's backtrack.
Yeah, that's all. I'm saying, but ionizing radiation is gamma radiation, like one of the many.
Okay.
Just as an
I know,
example
but no
of-
one knows what the term ionizing and non-ionizing
Or
means.
gamma.
That's
or
what I'm saying.
really radiation.
So,
Radiation usually is
okay,
bad.
so all this shit, communication technology, anything from your TV to your Wi-Fi,
Yep.
everything is on the spectrum. What spectrum is that, Mickey?
non-ionizing.
No, God, the
The electromagnetic energy.
Thank you.
Okay.
You were supposed to. You're
sorry.
supposed to save me. Okay, so we got. Let's see. This is all the way up to the optic level. So this is just the radio level. The band, the frequency range, and the wave range. So we get extremely low frequencies, and it is, I think, less than 3 kilohertz, and it can travel greater than 100 kilometers.
Okay.
That's how big the wave is. And from my understanding, those things are used for like a lot of military. Those kind of waves are really good at penetrating water, rock. So they're used to communicate with submarines. They're just really good in that aspect for military, pretty much. Then there's very low frequency, which is 3 to 30 kilohertz, and it's 10 to 100 kilometers. That's how big the wave is. And what the hell are those used for? Oh, used in marine and aviation communications. Also used for AM radio.
Yeah, because I was hoping you were going to get to that. That's one of the things I learned in communications, of course, was the difference between those. So that's why when you listen to FM radio versus AM radio, FM sounds better. It sounds clearer, whatever. Yeah. But AM, you can hear it way the fuck farther away. So if you put on like AM 800, you can hear it, an hour or two away, but you're going to lose Dave and Chuck much quicker than that.
Yep. Then you have low frequency, which is 30 to 300 kilohertz, and 1 meter to 10 kilometer. That's how big the waves are. And that is also used in marine and aviation, and AM 800, which is AM radio. Then you got high frequency, which is 3 to 30 megahertz. Oh shit, I've messed up. Sorry. Medium frequency is 300 kilohertz to 3 megahertz. Okay. Then high frequency is 3 megahertz to 30 megahertz, and its range is 10 to 100 meters. That, along with the next three, which is very high frequency and ultra high frequency, are used for FM radio, broadcast TV sound, public service radio, cell phones, and GPS. Yep. And then I guess I'll just skip all the way to the fucking end, the two interesting ones, which are super high frequency and extremely high frequency. Super high frequency is 3 to 30 gigahertz, and the wave is 1 to 10 centimeters.
Wow.
Or no, 1 meter to 1 centimeter, I think. And then extremely high is 30 gigahertz to 300 gigahertz, and it's 1 centimeter to 1 millimeter, I think.
Where would that be found?
That's in the microwave. What do you mean? Oh, yeah, sorry. So those two are found in microwaves. That's part of the microwave band of the spectrum. And molecules, if you use these, gets interesting. Molecules in the air tend to absorb these frequencies, which limits their range. And they are affected. Man, my notes suck. The super high frequency is affected less than the extremely high frequency, like with absorption rate. So super high frequency is used for short range, so Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, wireless, USB. It works in a line of sight, right? So that's why your Wi-Fi signal gets disrupted if it's your router's down there and you're up here. It's weaker. And those are really, really, I think they call it the millimeter.
You just had to throw shots at my Wi-Fi.
Yeah, your Wi-Fi. Shit. Anyway, so those are the things. And that's where we get into 5G, which is, it is kind of scary because 5G, I should have color coded this. I didn't realize I took this many fucking notes.
You said 7 pages,
yeah,
dog.
I didn't
even know
that.
You owned a book with 7 pages.
I didn't either. I didn't even know I knew how to write words. Okay, so apparently 5G uses something they call sub-6, and that's 600 megahertz up to 6 gigahertz. And they also will use 24 gigahertz up to 86 gigahertz. So in perspective, the super high frequency or the extremely high frequency goes up to 300 gigahertz. So you're right in that range.
Right.
And that's microwave the spectrum of the radio waves right there. That's what your microwave would use pretty much. The difference is the power.
Right.
Right.
They're very low power.
Oh, super low.
Right.
Super low power. Your phone. I don't know with the towers though.
Well, what do you mean? They'd have to be on the same frequency.
No. The frequency has nothing to do with the power it's exerting. A microwave uses 1,000 watts.
Okay, so you're right, but here's the thing that I learned. Hold on.
Yeah, learning.
Let me pull my note out here.
Learning and
we can
teaching.
argue about shit neither of us really understands.
Dope. NASA space. Hire me.
So, when you're talking about ionizing versus non-ionizing, did we ever get that?
No, that's where I was going to go
definition?
next.
Yeah, we were teaching
Okay.
Mickey.
Okay, I'll let you do that, and I'll come back to this.
Do you have a definition for those?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
I honestly, I'm kind of re-looking at my stuff, and I really kind of went into conspiracy theory stuff. I'm like, fuck me, man.
That's
No, that's
okay, we
great.
can get into that.
I can't wait to hear it, bro. I can't wait.
You guys keep talking shit while I look through these terribly organized notes.
Fair enough.
Okay, so I'll go a little bit further on this. So when Slick and I were just talking about the frequency and the strength,
yeah, it's frequency and the power that pushes it.
that's right. Those are actually two separate factors. So if something doesn't affect something at a specific frequency, it does not matter how powerful it is.
Okay.
Okay. So this is why when we talk about the difference between ionizing and non-ionizing, which I'm not going to define yet, just for fun,
Just for fun.
is a frequency.
Yes.
So if you have something that's non-ionizing, it doesn't matter if we have super powered towers giving off non-ionizing radiation. It's still going to be non-ionizing.
Right. This is where it gets muddy.
Okay.
Okay. So now I'm going to go through ionizing and non-ionizing. So ionizing radiation is a form of energy that Wow.
That adds English to my page.
That adds English to my page. Yeah. What the fuck does that say?
Hold on. I want Mickey to define these because
want Mickey to? Go.
He
Good.
was no.
I can't
Don't
even
you
read
dare reach for that iPad.
I gotta reach for it. I
Don't
don't
you
know what
dare reach for it because you were the first one to start talking about this non-ionizing shit.
but it
What's
says-
non-ionizing, Mickey? I said it so many times
So,
it's starting to lose meaning.
for me-
Ionizing.
For me, it's the ionizing is what the ionizing radiation causes cancer. Non-ionizing isn't fully understood whether or not it causes cancer or not, but so far, it does not. At the frequency, at the amount that we're absorbing it today.
So pretty much what I understood was ionizing can knock electrons from atoms.
Oh, the kid is good.
Okay, so it can actually alter your DNA. It can.
So what's happening there is it is breaking cell bonds.
Yes, it breaks the cell bonds.
That's the difference.
The live yeah, exactly.
Which
So
is why
a nuke versus a 2G phone. The super spectrum right there.
well, okay. But that's why non-ionizing isn't and can't be dangerous, at least in principle.
Right.
Because it's not on the frequency to break those cell bonds, so nothing can happen to you from it.
The thing is, they don't really know where the end or the start of that is. They know the
So
extremes.
they don't know where the line is?
Yeah, because like they were saying, at least what in this infographic, this is where I'm saying it gets muddy. All the information's muddy. Infographics. They said if you crawled into your microwave and you put the popcorn setting on, it would have enough to kill you.
Sure.
But technically, your microwave runs on a non-ionizing frequency.
I thought you were just saying it's on the high end of the frequency. Isn't that whole
A
thing you were just
microwave?
going through?
No. The microwave is on the high end of the radio part of the radio band of it. Yeah, it's very confusing. There's an image. Pretty much it's a scale. Right in the middle is optical light. Light you can see.
Yeah.
To the
yeah.
left of it is the radio spectrum. To the right of it is visible light's in the middle.
Yeah.
To the right is optical. To the left is radio. In between radio and visible light, there's the microwave band. The higher the frequency, that's when you get in the microwave section. So I think
Which literally by its definition microwave because the frequency is so high that the waves are very, very tiny.
yes,
Unlike
Exactly.
AM, which is miles long.
which I didn't write down. It's higher than 5G. A microwave is higher than 5G, but
Well, I
5G
would
is
hope so.
right there. It's like right there.
I don't think that's right, bro.
Yeah, look it up. You got computers?
Yeah, look it up.
You got a fucking computer?
Okay, I will. You keep talking. I'm gonna look this
I'm gonna
up.
look this up.
See, now when
I'm gonna
Slick
keep
was saying
talking. That's what I'm gonna do.
Slick was saying it's starting to get muddy because I was on Scientific America and many scientists in the area are saying that we need stronger exposure limits for these for the 4G networks we have now, they're saying we need stronger exposure levels because that's part of the process that has been is when they were starting putting up radio towers way back when, and they were studying how the effects on people were like, it's not so bad. But as they grew, these studies were saying that we're not doing enough exposure tests, but from what they have been doing for their exposure tests, saying that we need stronger limitations on how many of these frequencies and these radio waves are going out there now. Kind of just piling onto you're saying like it's getting muddy because they're going like it shouldn't be causing cancer, but why is it sometimes causing cancer?
Well,
sort of thing, right?
Here's what I got. Nothing to do with really the actual microwave itself or anything, but just a couple things from the World Health Organization and the International, I think it's Association Research in Cancer or something like that, IARC. So in 2014, the World Health Organization, quote, no adverse health effects have been established as being caused by mobile phone use. But the World Health Organization and the Cancer Research, the International Cancer Research, whatever, classified all radio frequency radiation as possibly carcinogenic. To put that in perspective, pickled vegetables are also in that category as well.
Right.
Right. And processed meats, cigarettes, that's all way above that category in carcinogenic things. So that's what I mean. It gets muddy, just like you said. It's like one organization saying, nah, mobile phones don't do anything, but then they go back on themselves and say, well, the radio frequencies might, which that's what is in your cell phone. So, like, I don't know.
Okay, I don't
know.
This is confusing, and I wonder if it doesn't have to do with different forms of waves, but like an actual microwave oven is 2.4 gigahertz, which is way under what a cell phone
that's
uses.
what I'm saying. It gets fucking muddy because if you climb in there and you put it, you will die.
But
because it'll like melt you, it'll boil you. It's gonna raise. Maybe it's because it's such a confined space. I don't know. Maybe because it's like the lining of a microwave bounces them, right? As opposed to being out in the open.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of variables I don't know about.
I guess what I'm asking is, are there actual, like, these different kinds of radiation, are there differences besides the frequency?
No.
Like, are they essentially different?
It's the frequency. What the wave does, it can fuck with your body. So there is no difference. It's all on that one spectrum, and the spectrum's cut up into other things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like X-rays aren't.
Yes.
X-rays and radio waves microwaves are the same on the same spectrum as X-rays, gamma rays, cosmetic rays, or cosmic rays, not cosmetic rays. They're on the same scale as Ray-Bans, man. Bands that make good dance.
You got those cosmetic rays?
I got those cosmetic rays. They're gonna fucking steal that.
Worth every dollar.
Ray-Bans, the cosmetic rays. $899 limited series now. Get your fresh slick and Mick.
Cosmetic rays.
Man,
No, cosmic rays, gamma rays, X-rays, ultraviolet rays, infrared rays, visible light, and radio waves and microwaves are on the same spectrum.
Okay.
It's all about the frequency.
Okay.
It's about how big how wide these waves are. And when they're tighter and they're more, I guess, it's kind of like having like a shotgun versus like a sniper with a scope, right? Like your shotgun's gonna spray. That's kind of like what a radio wave does. It's so big, it just kind of covers whatever and you can go through objects. But when you get down to millimeter waves, is why they call these. It's like very, like
precise.
Precise. You know, it's like smaller, so it just travels faster, I guess. But it's all the same, which is weird, and that's what I'm saying. It gets muddy and that goes along with your thermal thing. Why are they studying thermal effects because they're using waves that can heat the water in your body up by vibrating the water molecules.
Yes. Okay.
Theoretically,
that much I understand at least.
So if you get towers with 5G or small, what are they called? They're called something different.
Yeah, they got a
small.
little name for them.
I don't know. They're fucking tiny. I
Used
had
that
it.
before.
I'm never taking fucking notes again. I'll tell you that.
No, this is good, man. This is the best slick. I like this slick.
Fuck this slick.
I mean,
small cells. That's what they're called. Small cells.
Yeah,
so
the
they're
small
smaller,
cells. Yeah,
but there's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
be a lot of them. So how much power is the input, to these new towers with a ton of little small cells,
Uh-huh.
and how much power is it kicking out? What's the output, right? So it might not have enough power to like harm me or you or do any damage, but to a human. But what about a smaller living creature or plants, right, that are there? Like if this is constantly going. Like that video I sent you, I don't know if it's doctored or not. I don't know if the guy set it up or not. I'm taking it for what it is.
Right.
And it was a guy who was in between two 4G towers, because I don't know if you guys know this, but 4G right now uses some of the lower end of the spectrum that 5G is going to use.
Would utilize.
Right? So they had these two towers that were like meters apart. They were very close and disguised as palm trees. And bees were just dropping dead. And the guy's there with his shitty cell phone camera, so I can't, you can't really see. You can see it all.
Yeah.
But he starts going, oh, there's another bee. Oh, just follow this guy. Just follow this guy.
Take your word for that, bud, but keep filming.
It's like you take it for what it is. It's on YouTube, but I mean,
So-
there might be some credibility to that.
Okay, but here's the question that I have based on some of the stuff that I was reading, and this is also from the WHO, and it ties into what we were mentioning before with Russian hackers.
Okay.
They were saying that the World Health Organization was saying that a lot of the misinformation is coming from Russian attempts to disrupt the economy and technological growth and that sort of thing of competing nations. And honestly, that sounds like right to the letter. Like that's not at all hard to believe
Yeah.
Not at all.
based on the lay person's knowledge that I have.
Sure.
But I think that the danger of just accepting those kinds of videos as like, oh shit, like we gotta look at this, is like there's nothing behind them. It's the same thing that makes it great, right?
Right.
Like if for whatever reason there was this huge blanket conspiracy to be like, oh, we're gonna do 5G stuff and not tell anybody how it kills you.
Sure.
It could be like somebody's cell phone that gets the real word out, just sort of like it was with, I don't know, like the Arab Spring, which didn't end up very well. But I remember being in university and like that was very exciting, right? And we only found out about it because of like people on Twitter and Facebook and shit.
The what?
The Arab Spring, like the revolution in Egypt and Tunisia and
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm thinking of like the season spring.
no, not just
Like,
like an
what the
Arab
fuck are you
guy
talking
enjoying the flowers.
Yeah,
That's not what I
like,
mean.
he's just tweeting flower pics.
No, and I mean ultimately that resulted in more horrible dictatorships. But like
Right.
in its essence, it was very promising, and the world only found out about it. And it only took place because of this technology, right?
But I'm not really worried, or I don't really think the conspiracy, if there is any, is about killing its consumers. Because giant corporations need one thing: they need consumers. If you kill all your consumers, or all your consumers find out like, oh, my brain's being boiled by my phone, I'm not going to use it anymore, and millions of people, like that's a lose for them.
Yeah.
I think what's going on is every telecommunications company is just trying to get this shit out as fast as possible so they can take capital on smart cities, smart homes, smart cars, all these things that big fucking money have
Right.
deals with Chrysler, Ford, GM, Tesla. Who fucking knows, man? Like I tried to get into that and I didn't even know where to start.
So is your I'm
Okay, hold on.
Yeah,
Let me
go ahead. Go ahead.
touch one more thing. And by saying like these companies want in, they want first in, they want dibs, they want to control it, they're ignoring or maybe paying off what it actually does. Maybe it's not so bad to humans, but maybe it is bad for bees.
And that's what I was thinking.
Right?
You kind of
Okay,
find
okay.
that middle of it is bad, but we'll fix it later.
Which is certainly the approach that your average company would take.
Yes.
I also have no problem believing that.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know?
They
For
do it with
sure.
fucking cars all the fucking time. Oh, recall because we knew there was a bad part in here, so bring it back. We got a better one now. Okay, that's good.
Is that what happens?
Here and there.
Dude, look at
I thought it was
Boeing.
just like defects were fat. Oh,
There you go. Look at the entire
what was it? The 767?
United States,
What
dude.
plane was it?
It was 737, I believe.
I thought the 737 was the good one.
No, there was like another. I think it's all of Boeing. I just don't
Jesus
fly on a Boeing plane.
How do you avoid that?
Get a biplane.
I'd like to fly Delta, but not on a Boeing. I don't know how that
Just,
works.
yeah, I don't know how that works. But that's crazy. That anyway. But it's everywhere.
Okay, so we know, in essence, and you kind of know in a commonsensical way that like companies will gain profit against public interest. That's not new to anyone.
No.
Sure. But also I'm very cautious about fear mongering.
Oh, for sure.
You know?
Because this could very well be a great technology.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think telecommunications companies morals line up with the morals of everyday working people or people who care about other things.
Again, bro, I studied communications. That you ain't said nothing but a word, my friend. Like the it's so fucking dark and deep, and like you don't think like you think Clear Channel puts out a blacklist on a bunch of songs after 9/11 because they might make people sad, right?
Every Rage Against the Machine song.
Every single Rage song was on there.
Off radio.
So goddamn funny. Like this is a real thing, man.
Yeah,
You
this
know
actually
it.
I'm very much believing this to
Yeah,
be real.
they
Oh yeah,
owned-
literally every Rage song was on it.
That's like
For years.
that has to be some sort of accomplishment, like on some level. You know what I mean? Like without being
Oh,
super
for them, they
offensive,
probably
but
fucking
like,
loved
it's probably
it.
like
Yeah.
this is great.
Anyway, go on.
But they were also disbanded already
Yeah.
by that point.
Yeah, but even still, like forget that parental advisory thing. It's like no, this is just bad for the country.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But and then there are a lot of other songs, you know.
Oh, tons,
Most
tons.
of which was nonsense. What were some good? I think Blackbird was on there.
Yeah, something like that. It was like some songs you'd like be like, why is that on there?
Blowing in the Wind was
Yeah,
on
like
there.
anything that regarded air and
Yeah.
planes and buildings
So I
and
can-
just like living.
Bombs over Baghdad.
Yeah, yeah,
Safely assume Dust in the Wind was on there then.
probably.
I don't know, but probably.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they can have that, and they can say like whatever the fuck they said. Like this is because we don't want to make people sad. I don't know. Dumb as fuck,
It's
really.
stupid.
And then they could have an ulterior motive behind that, like say like blackballing certain artists like that they don't like or,
Sure.
or
Right.
that are against their interests, like Rage always was.
Yeah.
That's why we love them.
Yeah.
That and Gym Bros. I fucking hate Gym Bros who are like, yeah, that Rage song is good to lift to. No, that Rage song has meaning. You don't even know. You're not
Yeah.
allowed to listen to Killing in the Name anymore.
No, yeah, and that's the only one they listen to. Too.
Exactly.
I love that Killing Rage, man.
Yeah.
Killing in the Name album, great.
Fuck you, I won't do what you told me.
I'm a rebel.
Trucks. Anyway, but like how do you ever find this out? Because when this information comes out, it's always like 30 years later that we find out the real truth.
Right.
Or at least that it gets
And-
admitted to. Like I'm still waiting to find out about JFK, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Like, and how do you know? And this is the scary thing. And take everything you hear with a grain of salt, because the National Archive Committee or whatever that is. Did you read that article? They've been doctoring photos. So this is like a committee that puts photos and documents in like a vault, like to organize the evolution of America.
Right.
Right. And at Trump protests, they're doctoring the photos. So who the fuck do you even trust?
Yeah.
They came out, oh yeah, we're sorry we did that. It's like, no, bro, you can't be sorry. What else have you done?
Yeah.
Like, if this is all a lie. Like, we already
Yeah.
know half the shit's a lie.
Yeah.
History, the giant genocide with killed 64 million indigenous people, all this shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's all a fucking lie. So who do you even believe anymore? Look at the United States government. Look at what just happened.
Which thing?
All of it. The caucus, the impeachment, how he got acquitted.
I just
It's crazy.
yeah.
Like, who do you even believe, man? It's insane. So in regards to 5G, it's owned by these giant tech companies that fuck you and fuck you and fuck me over, and they have no problem doing that as long as you pay them your $85 a month for their shitty ass phone service.
Yeah.
That doesn't even cover rollover data, you fuckers.
That's some bullshit.
Fuck,
Yeah.
that's fucking bullshit. You should all be fucked in the ass.
I think that oh my god.
I'm sorry, that gets me real fucking mad.
What, not having rollover data?
Yeah. Like
Oh,
that's insane. You pay for that amount of data in your plan.
Dude,
And-
when you find out what it actually costs them to provide these things.
I already know.
And the fact that the infrastructure was built 40 years ago, I'm slightly exaggerating, maybe more like 30, and that it costs them fucking nothing, and there's no maintenance ever done, and all this shit, and it's just like, and then they come at you with like, oh, you got to pay for your overage. Fuck you.
Yeah, you're a fucking piece of shit.
It was the guy from the guy from Mythbusters. Remember when he came to Canada? He was doing some text messaging with someone from the States, and his bill was like $3,000. He's going, no, I'm not going to pay that. And then he did, these guys are fucking smart. Did his own research. He's like, yeah, this one text message cost you 0.0003 cents. I'm not fucking paying you $3,000 worth of text messages.
Right.
There's no way.
Wanna
There's
hear a
no
story?
way that is like because it's a 3,000% markup per one text. Fuck you,
bro. That happened to me.
Yeah.
There it is. There
I got
Slick
a
Daddy.
$1,500 phone bill from being on a cruise and texting my girlfriend at the time, and I didn't know because I thought the woman said I had international text, like no matter where I was. Because I asked, but I was like, oh yeah, babe, no problem. I'll text you. Yeah, I'll text you from the Caribbean. Like we're cool. We're cool. We'll be in contact. Boom, $1,500. This was back in the day too. My dad looked at that shit and he's like, no. And
It's like, it's gotta be a joke.
He called up and he just fucking ripped them apart.
Yeah.
About exactly that, and they dropped it to like $150.
But even still, like fuck you.
It's still too much, but from 1,500, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Yeah,
I'll take
no,
it.
for sure.
But that's what I mean. They know.
They know.
They all know.
Yeah, so they can give you a
not just
better
like
deal.
not just like the bosses, like the dude on the other end of the call center in India. He knows.
Yeah, man.
Like everybody
know.
fucking knows.
It's insane.
It drives me fucking crazy. Like I remember when I was looking at because I have Bell Internet here, right?
Yep.
And they charge me, for some dog shit speed, some ungodly amount per month, right? And I was looking at MNSI because it's local, because they got the fucking fiber optics and everything. Why the fuck wouldn't you? There's no reason not to go with that company. And like I don't even know if they have anything that's not unlimited. I'm not sure. I gave it up, but so I called Bell and I said, all right, guys, this is what I need from you for me to keep giving you money, because at this point there's no reason. Like I have a better service, it's local, so I can feel good in my mind, and also it's going to cost me like $40 less.
right.
And they said, we can't do that. And I said, yes, you can. I said, I know for a fact that you can. So like you're going to lose this account, so they put me on hold. Come back. Would you like to bundle it? We could maybe cut you a deal if you bundle it with a home phone. No, because it's 2018, you stupid son of a bitch. I'm not getting a home phone.
Yeah, like who? Oh,
Put me back on hold for a second. Do you have your cell phone with us? No, and I'm not gonna, because I pay way less than all of what your rates start at. Oh, okay. Put me back on hold.
Fuck's sakes.
Come back again. Yeah, we could probably take. You've been a long time customer. You've been a good paying customer. We could probably take $10 off your monthly bill to cover that. I said, no, you stupid sons of
God.
like, you're not like this is either a cancellation call or you do this for me. It's one of those two, and it's happening before I hang up. Oh, okay. Put me back on hold. Come back. Okay, yeah, we can do that for you. See, I knew why did you give me the runaround, you soggy piece of shit?
oh,
I hate those bastards. And that's the thing, like I was actually like trained for it, so I know, and most people don't. It's bullshit.
yeah. Not a lot of people know, and that's the monopoly. That's how they make their money. They don't want you to know that it costs like nothing to send a text message. Remember back when they started charging for incoming text messages?
No.
I can't remember when that happened.
Sounds like fake news. China.
China.
Look at my small
No,
hands.
dude, I'm gonna look this up. You guys just talk.
Well,
whatever. I don't fucking care anymore.
Okay, enjoy our last episode. We're officially done with everything. No. One thing I found going through all this, which I don't think it necessarily cements any thought or talk. I'm going to stop talking now.
Awesome. Thank you.
5G appeal. Have you heard about this?
No.
So it is well, it's an appeal to do more research into the effects of all these towers and these waves and stuff like that. 250 scientists and medical doctors are signed onto this 5G appeal. Their statements have been even at levels well below international and national guidelines, non-ionizing electromagnetic fields effects include increased cancer risk, cellular stress, increase in harmful free radicals, genetic damages, structural and functional changes to reproductive systems, learning and memory defects, and more. Essentially why they're pushing this. It's just pretty much we need to do more research before we roll out any more Gs.
Right. Any more higher
frequencies.
Yeah.
Getting further onto that scale of ionization or whatever the fuck that word is.
But if we already had things that could cause that damage anyway, it's strange to me that we're acting like this is some new threat. I mean, I understand that it's the application of it that makes it more threatening, but couldn't we have tested for this already?
They have.
Well,
they have weapons.
So, okay, the weapons.
What are the weapons?
It's blast them with microwaves until they start vomiting.
The FCC.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
Dude,
Where has this been used? Where can I watch people
research
do
this
this?
shit. Research it right now.
What's it called?
Microwave weapon technology. So hold on, now to finish because I found this fucking thing. Cell phone users. This is CTV. This is from 2008. Cell phone users to pay for incoming text messages. Starting next month, 2 major Canadian phone companies will start charging cell phone users who don't have a text messaging plan for all incoming text messages they receive, including spam. The 2 companies were Bell and TELUS. So they charged you for getting a text,
Including,
spam or whatever.
yeah.
Like if you're sign up to like a store and they have a sale and they'll text you.
Or
Yeah.
if you're not.
Message and data rates may apply.
It's
Yeah,
insane,
yeah, right.
and that's when it started going like this. The quote here is like, "That blows."
But-
They already charge us way too much. I'm paying $100 for a cell phone bill. That's only supposed to be $30 a month,
Jesus.
right? And that's where they get you all these little fine print shit that people
Yeah.
don't read because no one fucking cares. They don't know. They don't know that they have the power to fuck you over that hard.
And I understand that, you can technically point to some agreement that somebody signed and be like, oh, well, you should have read this prohibitively long agreement that we intentionally wrote like this so you wouldn't have a fucking clue. Well, you
Exactly.
should have just read it. Then you'd know.
Then you'd know.
But, like, everyone knows what these are for. That was the thing about, end user agreements that I only recently found out. I was listening to another podcast, and they talk about how these things are specifically designed so that no one, first of all, even if you did sit and read them all, you wouldn't be able to decipher them.
Yep.
And then second, essentially, if you click agree, there are clauses in there that absolve the company of blame anyway. So there's literally nothing you can do. If you want to exist in the modern world, you have to,
Abide.
quote unquote, legally give up these freedoms. But something's got to happen. Like, and the CRTC did do something when it changed the allowable terms for cell phones. So that was a step,
Yeah. I guess.
making people not bound into like 3 or 4 year contracts for whatever.
But my God, is that ever a fucking small step?
It is. You're right. It's a very small step, and it's embarrassingly small amount of progress compared to like the shit that people are eating on a daily basis. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
It honestly, it almost feels like when like I pay for parking and then they go, oh, anything that happens to your car is not our fault. Then what the fuck am I paying for? Like, you're doing literally nothing. You have a little speck of land that you bought, put some pavement on it. Now you're charging me just to use it, and anything that happens to me or my stuff is completely my fault.
Okay.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So I just want to say something, and it goes along with parking lots, it goes with cell phones, it goes with water bottles, it goes with single-use plastic, it goes with everything that is making our world shit. And it's that humans will pay for convenience. That is just flat out a fact. Look at
Bro.
McDonald's. Look
Yes.
at all this shit, right?
Yes.
So you're talking about a little speck of land that some dude bought. Well, guess what? People will pay $15. They'll pay $20 because no one wants to walk. Why would I walk when You know, I got a $20 bill in my pocket. I'm gonna go pay for my parking right next to the bar I'm going to downtown or wherever the fuck I'm going.
Yeah.
And you don't even care. You're just like, whatever, yeah, sure. Someone has my car, it's my fault. Who cares? No one cares. Because no one they just you're fed. It's like I've always said, every single thing in our society is in an ongoing loop. And thank you. Yeah, let's listen to it. You hear that? That's the fucking loop of life right there.
You know what? Fuck it. Now I want some.
Yeah, get this good job.
So, like, they know humans have tendencies to not read fine print. And like you said, even if they read it, the masses won't understand it. They haven't studied it, blah, blah, blah. So they pretty much be like, well, I still want that. I still want that convenience, so I'm going to accept whatever happens to me. That's future me's problem.
But yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
It sounds like a Tuesday morning Fresh's issue. Not,
Right. So it's just like these people.
but hold on, bro, because you're right, but surely people can be held, maybe Mickey, you have some perspective on this. People can be held liable for designing a system where it's essentially built for people to lose, people to fail.
No.
I know
Facebook.
I understand that legally they can wash their hands of it, but is there no way to amend that?
Well, it's essentially we go to the government with petitions and what have you. We go to the lawmakers and say, listen, we this is what we want. And then whether it goes through or not, so let's just say I had that capability. I go to Parliament Hill and go, we need to start looking at this. And all of a sudden all the lobbyists start showing up going, no, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up. I pay for these guys' fucking wages, get out. Or they come at me with a fucking nice envelope full of money and then I go away.
Yeah.
It's lobbyists that fight it.
Yes.
They
It's
want
just
their
like
full
oil.
freedoms.
I understand
so-
that, but principally, something could be done about it.
Yes. I mean, principally, something could be done about all the world's problems.
The thing is, yes and no, because when I was taking finance, I had to do accounting.
Mm-hmm.
If there was not a law in place, but you did something that you shouldn't have done. So let's just say, Ponzi schemes. Before there was a Ponzi scheme, there was nothing. It was
Okay,
just something somebody did. Gentleman named, last name Ponzi, obviously. If it is in
Mickey Ponzi.
But through that, mostly, and it seemed mostly with accounting and so of course with money. If it is within the spirit of the law, you can be found to have done something illegal.
Right. Now, see, the problem with that is that's not how the world works really anymore because, I mean...
Well, for schmucks like you and I, it is, because if we do something that's not technically a law yet, and we do it, and they go, whoa, you're kind of breaking the rules that aren't rules, we're gonna find you liable for that.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm talking about that way, but it's the other way around, like with the President of the United States or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, it just nothing matters. Let's vote for witnesses and...
It is super
fucked up.
super hard to implement those things when there's no foundation per se. So
Right.
So we get into like my job is to interpret the law.
Right.
Okay.
So you bring up any case. Okay, so actually good examples of any cases when it comes to human rights. Human rights are great for this because it's like, well, yes, but no, but yes, but no. We look at abortion and where does life begin? That's an interpretation of the law. That is super important. That's really important. What I'm going to be doing is I guess I can say it is like the spirit of the law. Are you really doing something that you shouldn't be? And then how can I use that? How can I find that in the legislation wording to prove my point?
Right. Okay.
But again, it's the lobbyists who, again, I wouldn't say they're necessarily. Of course, they're good at interpreting the law, but they're also they have really deep pockets.
Yeah. That's I just understand that data is the new gold, and it's not going to go away. The rates aren't going to go away. They might lower, but they'll lower that once 5G comes out because now they can do the smart home, smart cards, blah 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 blah. They can get money from other avenues. They don't really need it from me or from you anymore. But they can still charge us $40 a month because compared to $80, yeah, we're going to sign up. You know what I mean?
So your view is not necessarily that the technology is inherently dangerous, but that the rollout of it and what it allows is going to take over daily life.
Yes, I think that we are creatures of obviously evolution, we want continuously to go the next step. 5G is the next step of
Yep. Sure.
communications technologies. People will pay.
Yeah.
And as long as those people pay, and if the pockets are deep and the money's big enough, who fucking knows who you're paying off? Oh, the FCC. Here you go. Shh. Don't tell them that this is killing small insects that are super important to the world. And in 20 years, they'll all be extinct, and then humans won't have food.
See, that's where I eventually go to, bro. Like, if this stuff is non-ionizing and cannot damage cell bonds, okay, let's just assume that is completely true for the sake of this discussion. But it can interrupt other things in certain ways, like say bees or even butterflies. Oh, I wish I didn't say butterflies. Just thought about fucking Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, what a shame.
Speaking of people with deep pockets and people being paid off,
that's a whole other discussion.
Yeah.
Tune in next week.
Dark shit. Anyway, so insects and whatnot that are important to the society that allows for human life, it eventually works against their best interest. And I know that short-term profit, because we know all this with climate change and oil and everything. Yeah, sure. But like, this is pretty much right in front of people, right? Like, if they put this shit in every neighborhood and everything dies, we're gonna notice that.
Sure.
Are you?
You don't think so?
You might, but will the I don't know, because think about it like this. You guys are forgetting the addiction part of this all.
I never forget the addiction of cell phones.
Really? It sounds like you have. Because
I watch
people
it every
growing
day.
Up, we can establish the difference because we were fortunate. We grew up in that real sweet period where there was nothing and then there's a lot of something.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
But people who grow up in an era where they don't even they can't even perceive life without a cell phone or without a laptop or Wi-Fi or any of that shit.
Right.
Will they notice? Will they actually notice that shit's dying around them, or will people do a good job at hiding it?
Or will they not even have to, since you say it like that?
And that's the other end of the spectrum.
No,
Fuck.
on the complete other side of that, though, we are seeing so many people very aware of these things. Like, you can't, like, there's these movements of we need better this, we need safer that, we need to understand that what is happening is this. Now, you're right, addiction really does kind of go, yeah, but my phone. I get that very, very much. But it seems that as much as the technology is kind of putting blinders on us, we're also being able to see bad things that are occurring because of these things.
But
True.
But
I'm kind of hoping that there might be a balance, and the imbalance will eventually be everybody who's stupid. It gets stepped on by everybody who's realizing that this is bad.
right. And
But on addiction, the addiction of convenience.
exactly. It's a double addictive thing.
Because it's a kind of a small backtrack when you're talking about parking. I would love to ride my bike to work. I would love to walk to work. Hell, as much as I hate it, take the bus. Save me a fuck ton of money. Really would. Now, if I didn't have a car now, if I had just magically all that was gone, you're like, oh well, I might as well save my money doing this.
Right.
But we are also in a time where like convenience and necessity are kind of overlapping now. I need to be at work at a certain time.
Right.
I cannot, particularly in winter, and you know what, I may as well. I can't always count on the fucking bus.
Nope.
I really
Nope.
can't. Also, if it's piss pouring out, I'm going to work. So then yes, I'm gonna have to either wrap myself in garbage bags or bring an extra pair of clothes.
Doesn't this just sound like the pussiest argument in the world to you, though?
What do you mean?
Even as you say it, like, oh, I might get wet.
No, but I'm also going to be at work all day. I'm going to be, I'm not going to, so like, particularly if I'm going to be a paralegal, I can't show up to work fucking soaked. I can't go to court soaked. I have to have these certain things in mind because I have to look this kind of professional now.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, so the convenience and the necessity are now overlapping for me. I need to get to here quickly.
Yes, but you made your
Or
own
efficiently.
necessity. That is not really a necessity.
Well,
That's something you've made a necessity for yourself.
Well, the thing is, here, how about this? We'll go all the way back for what we were born in. Necessity for law. Mm-hmm. Now, crime has been happening. We need to get these people to here. We need to centralize these things. So we are building cities. We escalate. Now let's go forward a few hundred years. Let's put it in this town square. Why? Because everybody can get to it very easily. But the town grew. Now we have to get everybody to come in a little bit faster. Like it all escalates. again, we've talked about necessity. No, what is it? Mother of technology. Necessity is a mother of
Invention.
Convention,
So we now live in a time where these conveniences are almost now necessities.
Okay, well
Yeah.
then it's not the same thing. It's not the
It's
same
not.
thing as wasting money to park closer because you don't want to fucking walk. That's not the same conversation, bro.
Well, the thing is, for me, I'm downtown. I'm paper parking one way or another.
Or ride your bike, then you won't have to.
But what if it's raining
I don't
and
know.
I have to go to court?
Put a fucking coat on. You heard of those?
Get a waterproof
for sure.
backpack.
But that's what I mean. I'm just kind of like, okay, now I gotta go buy a waterproof backpack. It's gonna cost me a fuck ton of
And
money.
then you have
Like,
to
not a
leave
fuck ton, but
earlier.
I don't mind leaving her. You get, like, I know I
I'm just
haven't been very
saying
good
all
over
of-
the years or the last little while, but it's just it's that overlapping thing that I'm having trouble with now.
All I'm saying, man, is that you just made a ass load of excuses for not really wanting to figure out how to solve that problem in a better way.
Well, it wasn't necessarily. I'm almost kind of speaking just what's kind of happening to me right now. But thinking about it, I would kind of go like, fuck, you know what? Maybe I want to start taking the bus because like I'm very fortunate. I am on a direct
Yeah,
bus
you're
route.
right there.
Yeah.
So for me, it is very feasible. I like that. I'm like, yeah, fuck, maybe I will start doing that. Why the fuck not?
But okay, but hold on, bro, because so my path is a little bit different. So I am not like some icon of virtue. Like at one point in my life, I started biking to work because I literally didn't have money for gas.
Sure.
Is it, I wasn't like I'm gonna go green.
Yeah.
No, I had no fucking dollars in my pocket. So I had an old bike that my grandma had given me, and it looked like it. And I just rode it. I rode it to work for probably about a year. And you bet I saved a fucking whole ass load of money doing that.
Sure.
Also, got more active, felt better, etc. But when my bike got stolen, then, oh, look, I have money for a new bike because I haven't been driving all this time. And there were all these other benefits that accrued, even just like the decompression after work, that sort
Sure.
of thing. And, I'm not saying you have to go buy a bike, though you should. But like, there's always another way, dude.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And whether it is necessity that pushes you there or making a conscious choice. The people who make a conscious choice to make a change before it's required, those are the real people on the front line.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. I was not that. I was just like, I'm kind of fucked here.
Yeah, I need 2 wheels.
Yeah, I gotta get to work. Well, it was either that or I was gonna walk, in which
Right,
case 2 hours there, 2 hours back.
Sure.
But the whole point of this is everything that we're taking as a given, like, that we need this technology and we have to do this and this
Yeah.
is how technology is going to progress. And so we have to adapt in this way. You don't. And you don't need to incorporate it in your life to any degree. We're talking about smart homes and whatnot.
Sure.
You may think that's cool or not. I don't really.
I don't.
I am, and I don't even resist it. I just think that, like, there's nothing hard about how I live in my house,
Sure.
Yeah,
I don't-
Yeah, it's just
I don't want to turn the oven on and then forget about it and take a nap because I didn't get off the couch to do it,
right.
Anyway, this is silly hypotheticals. But the way that those things are rolled out does not make them inevitable, is my point.
Sure.
And you can resist it at any step.
Do you think then, just because we're talking about 5G and cell phones, do you think we could have forever resisted that?
Oh God,
Cell phones?
no.
I think we could have, but I don't think that necessarily would have been a good thing.
I
We're
don't.
getting a hard no from Slick here.
No, I don't. I think you're completely wrong. I don't think, like humans as a whole,
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
humans
everyone on
and
the planet.
society.
and society as a whole, resist cell phones if the technology was available.
Yeah.
No, there's no way. And I'll tell you why. Because they understand psychology. And this is the one thing that people
Yeah.
fucking forget about.
Yeah,
They're
you're
going
right.
to pry
You're
on
right.
you with every single thing. Why the fuck do you think Walmart's a thing? Because they're like, hey, look at all these great mom and pop shops. This one sells soap, and this one sells medication, and they sell home decor. Fuck, let's put it in one fucking building. Oh, wait, we forgot groceries. Let's add that in.
Yeah.
Oh, You need your tires changed? Well, drop it off while you're shopping for your new desk, because Walmart does that too. You know what I mean? Like, they pry on human psychology, the addictiveness of convenience, because they know humans will always go that route, and we always have.
You're not wrong, but I still believe it doesn't make something inevitable. And to do something that is hard also doesn't mean that you are resisting inevitability, right? It just there's just different ways that this shit can play out, man. And I mean, let's say the 5G experiment in smart cities or whatever the fuck ever goes horribly wrong. What then? We've put all this shit in. Well, then we'll fucking figure it out.
Lasers.
You know? Lasers?
Yeah, next step of data transfer is in light. I'm telling you that right now. It's already a thing. They're going to transfer data within light beams. Lasers. I'm not even fucking joking. Look it up.
Well, fiber optics is that, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that is
Yeah,
that
that's
is
fiber
that,
optics,
Mickey.
but it's
But
already.
it's
I'm
gonna
talking
be-
with like lasers. Like
It's gonna be more.
it's gonna be more. It's gonna be faster. It's gonna be crazy, crazy, man.
Okay, well, I don't want to get too much into
No, I'm
different
just saying.
technologies.
That's
You're
a
because
whole
wrong.
new one.
That's a deep hole too.
On a personal level, you don't have to give in to these things. You don't. It's not a necessity for people on a personal level, and it's it's not. Will I get a new 5G phone? No, because we didn't even talk about that. You got to buy a new phone. You got to buy a new
No, you
hotspot.
don't.
Yes,
you
you
don't
do.
gotta buy a new phone. You
With
gotta-
5G, you have to buy a new phone with a 5G radio in it.
I understand that, but your old phone's not going to melt down the
No,
second.
I'm just saying if you want to go into 5G.
right.
But the inevitability that will happen in a society, in a societal perspective, it's inevitable because you have enough people who want that convenience.
Okay,
know-
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Why do you think us three do this podcast? Because we don't really bend to the conveniences of society, and we're kind of looking at both ways on a lot of our topics.
Yeah.
From the negatives and positives. But
Yeah.
a lot of people don't think that way.
Yeah.
A lot of people live in contentment and convenience their whole life, and that's what they want.
Yeah, I liked how he said personal too. How it's like on a personal level, do I need this? No, I like that because that's important. Because like for me personally, outside like even with the podcast that we do I need a cell phone? Absolutely not. I don't need one personally.
Right.
But professionally, fuck, I'm gonna need to get two, which makes me want to cry.
Yeah, and see, personally, I need a cell phone.
Yeah.
Professionally, I don't, because I don't have a fucking job. But I have a child, right?
Professionally, I don't need anything. I don't even need
even
clothes
need
because I'm
clothes.
homeless.
I just hang out at home in my box.
But it's an interesting and important thing to think about. Yeah,
It
because-
is, but at the end of the day, the people with the deepest pockets will win.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really matter anymore about morals, ethics, if it's good, if it's bad. None of it matters.
So I'm going to give you an extreme example, and I'm not suggesting that this will happen, but the people with the deepest pockets don't win every time. And it might be like 0.01%,
Okay.
but they don't win every time. French Revolution.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, I just brought that up.
Okay.
What you going to fucking do about it?
But
Nothing. Just listen.
What, Mickey?
well, he was talking about kind of the deep pockets. Just for me, or even Slick too. What do you mean French Revolution and deep pockets? Where are we going with here? I don't know much about the French Revolution. So.
Actually, I'll trump Mickey on that. I said Trump. Oh.
Are you about to be like, I don't even know what French is?
I don't even know what the French Revolution is.
Oh, you don't actually?
No, I don't.
Okay, so
I'm not fucking joking. I've heard it, and I kind of maybe know like 3 points to it, but
oh fuck. Okay, so the monarchy in the 1700s, in the late 1700s in France, had gotten so bad that people were like didn't even have food,
okay.
right? But obviously the monarchy was still eating well. Oh god, I'm trying to condense a massive amount of shit. Anyway, it was a populist uprising, a citizens' uprising against the ruling class.
Okay.
Okay, and like a lot of people died. A lot of people who had a lot of money. I guess to simplify it, to relate it to what we're saying here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, they actually executed the monarchs, King Louis and famously Marie Antoinette,
Right.
who never actually said "let them eat cake," but that's the thing she was supposed to have said as she was going to die. or not as she was going to die, but before
Right.
when they told her that everyone was starving, she said, "Well, let them eat cake then." You know, it's like nobody's got cake. We're eating sawdust, bitch.
Sawdust cakes.
Sawdust and rat pie.
Fucking nasty.
But that was an uprising of the I guess as we would say in today's terms, the 99%.
Yeah.
You know, so not every time, and you're right. They're
when did that happen?
constantly late 1700s.
That's the
know.
example you got for me?
It's just what came to my head, bro. I'm not
fine,
saying
fine,
it's the
fine.
only thing. I'm not saying it's the only thing. But, you know, even look at Bernie. The support of Bernie Sanders is a populist movement.
Yeah, and that's great. Let's see how that works out. Because guess what?
No
so
fucking doubt.
is the support for Hillary Clinton, who won the popular vote,
Well,
but the electoral that went to Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who's in office? So yeah, the people might want things to happen, but companies, deep pockets, they'll find a way to alter it. Like, does that even make any sense to you? Because it doesn't to me. But that's another topic. Anyway, I don't know. That's the way I view the world. I mean, it just appears that the deep pockets always win.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong. I just think
Good,
that
because you brought an example from the 1700s.
it happened once, man.
I swear it'll happen again.
Well,
Hippies.
Russian,
No, I think you're right. I think that the oligarchy is constantly playing with the knobs and levers to fine tune the control that they have over the average person.
Perfect example, Mike Bloomberg with the DNC. They changed the rules of the debate so he could debate.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They changed it from...
Dude, I tuned out
crazy.
really hard of the US election stuff because it was making me so fucking depressed.
Oh, yeah, but I just feel like it's important to keep up to date just because not even for who wins
right.
or anything, just to see the process.
You're right.
Because watching this process is like... It's just watching a drama series on TV. But anyway.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that, but yeah, all right, good example then. I don't know, man. I just like to think that all hope is not lost because while there is some spirit of resistance in the average person, nothing is necessarily inevitable.
You're right.
And I think that, and it's part of the reason we do what we do here because a lot of people don't fucking know. We looked at this topic and we said, what the fuck is this? And we realized we knew literally nothing about any of it. And we're just three average dudes who maybe spend a little bit more time reading articles on Reddit than, you know, Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
But what does that put us in the 60th percentile of knowledge? Like we're not literate necessarily in this shit.
No, not at all. I mean, most people...
But most people know fucking
Yeah,
nothing.
a lot of people think like it's gonna like fry your brain, but that's not really the dangers. I don't think of this technology. The dangers are just extreme capitalism. They're and if it does have an impact on natural, like bodily material, it's gonna be on a smaller scale. It's gonna be on insects. It's gonna be on things we need that people with billions of dollars don't give a fuck about. They don't care to clearly. They don't care about the fucking climate.
But you're right. You're right. You're completely right about that. But like then you get to a point where they eat food too.
Yeah, and you don't know the technology they have to grow their own
Oh,
food.
come on, man.
Bro, they're growing fucking meat in labs now. Like, you can do anything. That's what I mean.
But what's it made out of?
I fucking don't know.
You still need organic matter, don't you?
on the bees thing, by the way, it was one of the areas in Asia. Haha, Mickey. but there was.
Come on, Mickey.
I know, but there was essentially the bee population dropped so drastically that their crop yield was going to essentially not exist. They actually went out and pollinated themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they do this in California.
Yeah, they.
Scary, man.
It's called colony collapse.
So the why I look at it like this is because when I watched this video, one of the videos I watched, I can't remember where this was from. I didn't write it down, but they tested this on a rabbit, and they tested it to see if radio waves could kill or cook a rabbit.
Sure.
So they locked a rabbit in a cage and they put a 3 meter or 3 foot, I think it's a 3 meter satellite dish aimed directly at this rabbit for 10 minutes and it killed it. This was back in like, I think the 80s or something. I think it was the Soviets who did this. So in relation, there's a size relation too. Obviously, our
Sure.
phones are not 3 meters wide, and they don't exhibit the same, the output isn't the same as a satellite dish.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And we are quite bigger than a rabbit. Right? So it's not really a good comparison using like that to a cell phone and a human. But a tower to a bee.
See,
Think about that.
I
It
see
could
what you're
cook a
saying.
fucking bee.
my
It might
thing-
not cook us, but it could cook a bee.
But does it actually?
I don't know.
That's
That's the thing is I don't know, but from what I have read, where these things stand, like where the frequencies lie and what they're going to be installing, like the bigger frequencies,
Yeah.
not the sub 6, which will be I think more for cell phones, but for the inner city stuff, the 80 gigahertz or whatever, that can that will do it.
I think that's from what I read. I think that's one of those Russian myths, essentially.
Here's my issue with all of this. We keep talking about, oh, bees are smaller than us, rabbits are smaller than us. Are our cells not all the same fucking size?
That is exactly what I was just thinking. Yes. Yes,
So-
they are.
Oh, so it kills a bee. Sure. Okay, let's say there's a size of the.
Yeah, but
An area on
there's
my-
also density, bro. There's bone density that protects your brain. There's skin density.
But the fact of the matter is, it's still getting hit. The molecules that make me up are being fucked up by these radio waves. All these waves.
I'm literally talking about frying something, like causing thermal
So,
damage
yeah,
to
back to
your
the thermal.
I'm not even
Yeah.
talking about fucking cancer. I'm
Yeah,
talking about
right.
thermal damage
Yeah.
to your yes, no doubt that it's going to anything that you do physically in the world is going to hurt or benefit something physically. Every action causes
Yeah.
a reaction. It's
Well,
that's the
my,
law.
My thing is like, okay, good. So this isn't going to kill me quickly in a thermal way, but it's going to kill me slowly in a horrible cancerous way. That's
Okay,
all
but the
right.
thing is, the whole cancer thing has been completely dispelled. Like, that has never been proven on anything 4G and down.
Sure.
Right.
Okay, so it's very alarmist to take a look at a new technology that we don't fully understand and then be like, oh, this is the one that's actually going to do the thing we've been worried about this whole time. Like, you're an anti-vaxxer.
But you're also gonna, yeah, exactly.
Well done.
But this is where it gets really fucking muddy, and you're gonna hate me for saying this, and
no.
I already know it, and that's why I'm gonna say it. But where'd you read that?
World Health Organization?
Yeah. So how do you fucking know this is the truth?
Well, I mean, how do you know anything is the truth?
Exactly.
You look at but this is, bro, you look at the best information you can find based on your criteria of
Okay.
critical thinking, and, you examine the source.
Right. So you have the World Health Organization saying these things,
Uh-huh.
and then you also have hundreds of scientists saying, "Whoa, let's do more tests." So who do you believe, the
But-
scientists
but
or the
whoa-
World Health Organization?
But let's do more Okay, but the World Health Organization, their info comes from scientists, man.
Yeah, and the National Archive Committee are supposed to fucking document
I-
real life events, and they doctored photos. That's
I
what I'm saying.
understand that, but what Mickey brought up earlier with a bunch of people who want a petition to investigate a technology more does
Right.
not automatically mean that technology is dangerous.
No, but it does mean that there are doubts about it. And that maybe if a scientific community of that, large amount of magnitude, thank you for that word, maybe we should, go, oh, maybe we should do more studies.
Yeah, but 250 doctors, you said they were doctors, right, Mickey?
250 scientists and medical doctors.
Like, that's not a lot of fucking people.
No, but how many doctors are there out there? I know,
A lot.
I know there's a lot, but like,
yeah,
see-
how many BMW doctors are there out there?
In my neighborhood alone?
See, then it goes down to exactly think of Big Pharma and OxyContin and all this shit that's happening with that, and these people going to jail because they literally put software in doctors' computers telling them to prescribe patients OxyContin
It's not OxyContin.
or whatever. What is it?
Yeah, yeah.
What is it called?
Oxycodone?
Whatever the fucking shit.
codeine.
That's the.
See-
Anyway, go on.
What do you got, Mickey?
So I was just thinking because the best how we understand things scientifically is we implement the scientific method, right? We study, we test, we study, we test, we study, we test over and over again. It's interesting because we can do that with how Fresh said, you find your source and then you cross-reference. Kind of like implementing the scientific method into research.
Right.
But then same thing with you go, well, look what they did with previous issues that are now apparent today. Also, again, like, so here's the problem.
But that's not information, Mickey. That's an inference. That's not information. That's literally no. Don't. It's not. It's literally the opposite of how science is done.
No.
You're just pointing to something that's not really related.
I'm not talking
I'm not
of-
saying Slick doesn't have a good point to say that. Look, there are authoritative bodies that can't be trusted because they have acted shitty. That's an amazing point, and
Yeah.
it should always be considered. But it does not have necessary bearing on this or any one issue.
No, you're right. But I just think it is too quickly dismissed. Maybe? So this whole thing, no, seriously, no.
This is, the way it recorded that was hilarious.
Just-
It's just like he finishes thought, silence, and then in a little bubble goes, maybe? Fucking
Well, so-
amazing.
oh, man.
No, but
Okay, go ahead,
okay.
go ahead.
So by this same token, we can justify all sorts of things like whatever crazy conspiracy about aliens or flat Earth you want to fucking insert into that blank space.
You're right. I'm not saying to say empirically this is what it's going to be if we do this. But
I understand that, but it's not even a reasonable standard of doubt.
What do you mean?
No?
What's not a reasonable standard of
Yeah,
doubt?
okay.
The information that you saw from the internet that's provided to you by big telecom companies?
No. When I'm saying there's not specifically contrary information and there's only what you can infer from previous times where an authoritative body has acted badly, that's not information.
Well, it's recognizing a pattern that these people are constantly doing shitty things.
But they're not constantly doing shitty things, man. These things stick out because they are anomalies, because they are horrific, because it's not how we operate on a daily basis. And then we go, oh shit, that was fucked up. If it was every day, it wouldn't be fucked up. We just walk right past it.
But it is every day.
Hold
It
on.
literally is every day.
But is it? You know,
But is it?
I am understanding. So for me to say, okay, look, we can 5G is bad. Why? The Bay of Pigs. Okay, I'm done. You know what I mean? But that's what I mean. But that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Well drawn.
So we're all kind of right and wrong here. It's just because
That's-
it is very tantalizing to go look at what the governments and people have done in the past. Why can't this be part of it? You're fucking right.
Yeah.
Same thing with what Fresh is saying.
Yeah.
Look at all this, but what I just said. Again, flip it to how Fresh is saying it. Look how tantalizing it is. Of course, it's so appealing to go, yes, it is bad because we don't fully get it yet. We can easily jump to, well, look how bad this is because of past things. It works. Oh, it's kind of so interesting how it works both ways that way.
Yeah, it's the muddiness of it
We're
all.
almost fighting the same point, but differently. It's interesting.
Well, when you doubt something that someone says, like you feel like you're acting like you know something.
Oh God.
No.
No.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily, absolutely. But in a lot of these conversations, what comes out is someone, essentially inserting their pet theory over top of that doubt. To have doubt is
Right.
I think that's just about the best thing you can do as a human. Everybody should doubt everything. I'm a true skeptic, but I'm not a cynic. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
automatically assume the worst.
Right. And that's what that's what I'm trying to say is not, I'm saying that this technology could definitely be world changing. It could definitely be great.
Well, I think it will be world changing.
It will, right, whether it's bad or good.
Yeah.
It's definitely, you're right.
That's the toss-up.
But at the same time, what are we believing and what is actual true information? And like you said, the Russian meddling and stuff, that very well could be a thing in this. It very well could be. And we have no way of knowing. So it's kind of like what you take, what you want to take.
But if we're, you're right, because how far back do you go before you consider a source legitimate? I understand that. At a point, I accept certain things. I generally accept what the World Health Organization tells me over alarmist articles from debunked quack doctors and and YouTube videos that don't necessarily mean anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Understandably. Yeah.
So yes, I do have a preferred source. I don't have a problem admitting that. But what is our standard here?
Well, the thing though with the World Health Organization is it jumped on this topic. It says mobile phones do not cause any adverse harm or whatever.
But
radio frequencies are in the same category as possibly, or in the possibly carcinogenic category. So they literally said mobile phones don't cause this, but radio frequencies might.
But that is an ultimate caveat, bro, because so does oxygen.
I know.
Like oxygen is literally carcinogenic. So that is the ultimate bet hedge.
Hold on though. Is that not the job of the World Health Organization to quell mass hysteria? Listen, calm down, everybody. We're looking into it. Yes, a little bit. No, a little bit. We got this.
You just
know what I mean?
had to insert quell into a conversation because you used it before, right? You're so proud.
I've used it, man. Not maybe in the show.
All
I
I'm-
use it.
I say quell all the time.
All I'm saying
How are you
is
doing?
with everything that's kind of happened and all this fake, I don't even air quote fake news, all this fake news.
Yeah, it is fake news.
Yeah, all this shit. I mean, even with the coronavirus, on how they think China might be downplaying the number of people,
Right.
And the World Health Organization is only reporting what it is being given. Who knows if they're being withheld information from this, right? Like we just don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying. We don't know. And it's just a transparency issue, I think, is what the actual issue is.
Well, but the issue with transparency is that it's not the World Health Organization's fault.
No,
it could be. Well, it could be. It could be
be.
China's fault. It could be this person's fault. It could be this organization's fault. But with the World Health Organization saying what they know, that's important for whatever information is out there.
Yes.
We need it regardless.
Right.
Now, if it's completely false and right out of left field, that's fucking dangerous. But for them to say, listen, this is happening to the effects. This is how much we know, but we're on it. World Health Organization.
I'm not saying that the World Health Organization is full of quacks and to disregard them. I'm not saying that.
No, I know you're not.
I'm just saying that they're in the realm of possibilities. Lies are definitely happening right now as we speak on huge scales. Planes, pills, telecom, money. It's all happening everywhere. It's fueled by lies. So how do we know what is and what isn't? That's
Well-
what I'm saying. Every piece of information you get is from a communications device, a TV, a radio, internet, right?
Yeah, even
Who
a
do you
book.
think owns this shit?
No, for sure. But now we're dangerously jumping into
I know
full
that.
conspiracy.
I know
Trust
that.
no one.
That's where I go. That's why I'm here.
But no, for
And
sure.
I have a laptop.
For sure. But
Yeah.
like if we
Yeah. Hey, you want to start a podcast? You know anybody with a laptop?
Yeah, this guy who lives with his mom's. I'm just saying, bro, like it is filled. Shit is now coming to light on things that happened years ago, and we're like, oh, we didn't see that coming. And
we have reason
I don't
to
know.
be cautious,
skeptical. Be skeptical, but don't disregard, like Fresh said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like you mentioned earlier, something about Elon Musk potentially like butting up against this technology. Did I hear that right?
I don't think he's butting up against the tech. I'm just curious because the speed at which they are rolling this 5G out. Put it like this: Elon Musk is a G, bro. He made a truck that it's all electric, it starts at $35,000.
It's amazing.
It's amazing. Like everyone else is like, oh, $60,000 for this piece of shit Ram. Anyway, he's a G. He's doing that. He's doing the affordable cars. He's doing the Powerwall, the Tesla roof. He's doing SpaceX. He's doing the Boring Company.
He's
doing the Hyperloop.
trying.
He's literally doing as much as he possibly can to bring people, the middle class people, what they want. Like he wants to put someone in space for $100,000. You sell your house and go to space. That's his goal, is for the modern or the middle class person to enjoy these things. So with Starlink, he's sending hundreds of satellites to orbit the entire Earth to give the entire world internet. So my whole thing, and this is, I didn't read this anywhere. This is just like, I wonder if this has any connection. While he's launching these rockets, and the satellite's already up there, right? He's going to be completing it this year. It's like, oh, are they like feeling pressure from this guy, and like they need their next step of technology to roll out. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if there's a competition there. I'm not going to say there is.
Well, that's the free market, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's always competition in the market, especially in telecommunications.
So you're
but-
suggesting these other companies might be worried about him dominating things?
Yeah, look what he did with Tesla in the last 2 months. He went from being laughed at to the second most valuable car company in the world.
He's such a boss.
Yeah.
Dude, people lost billions of dollars because their stocks last year took a hit, like Saudi Arabia. They fucking sold all Tesla stocks, and 2 months later, they lost out on billions of dollars.
Oh my god.
It's insane.
Bummer.
So
Yeah.
this guy is a threat.
Sucks to suck.
This guy's a threat to big tech and capitalism because not one person. He's got a whole team of brilliant people, but as a public figure, one person's showing everyone up. He's like, "Oh, Bell, you've been around for 100 years, and SpaceX has been around since like '08. Yeah, we just gave the whole world internet. What'd you do? Give some houses some shitty ass internet and fucking throttle their speeds?
Yeah.
You know what I
Oh,
mean?
fuck.
That's another thing. Throttling. Like all of these companies are fucking evil.
Yeah, man.
And so like what do you believe? Like they're gonna want you to believe that 5G is safe, that it's the best, that it's safe. I said safe twice, but that's probably correct. And they're gonna pay the money to get that advertising out there. They're gonna pay the money to get that shit on YouTube. They're gonna pay Google that money because it affects Google to when you search 5G, all of a sudden now that it's being rolled out, all the negative things are pushed way to the bottom of the search list and all the positive things are right at the top.
Yeah.
It's an algorithm. That is life now.
Yeah,
That's why I'm skeptical, and I'm very skeptical about it. But at the same time, I'm just like, yeah, if I can get VR real time, plug my fucking brain in, and go slay some fucking hill giants in RuneScape, I'm in, bro.
Of all of what would be available to you with VR, like integrated augmented reality, you want to play
Escaping,
RuneScape?
bitch. I'm scaping.
I
That's
mean,
my
that's,
escape.
in a way, it's beautiful. Like that's what you want.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. Like, part of me thinks it's cool, but the other part of me is like, it's probably bad.
Why? What would you do, Mickey?
Virtual reality, Diablo 2. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah,
that'd be nice for
pretty
me.
I was waiting.
Games.
I was waiting for one of y'all to say Pokemon.
Oh, yeah.
No.
What? Are you scared of them?
No. But I'm thinking.
It's a monster.
I think I would really like Diablo 2 VR.
Bro, do you even know what
it's just-
Pokemon is?
Yes.
Name one Pokemon, and it can't be Pikachu.
Voltorb. Go right out of left field on that one.
That was out of left field, but I give it to you.
Name another Pokemon that's not.
Gyarados.
Okay, all right.
Name
you
another
know.
one.
Well, this is all the hard. Bulbasaur.
Name 151 of them.
No, they're up to 2,569.
Are they actually?
No, I have no fucking idea. I just threw that number out there, but probably.
But yeah, it's a high number.
Anyway,
No, anyway, I was just saying that because like if you could, augmented reality Pokemon, you're essentially
That's already
in a pet fighting ring.
that's augmented reality is different than VR. You know that, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay, augmented is already Pokemon Go is augmented.
Yeah, that's true.
Right,
That's true.
so-
I was thinking at further extent. but you're
VR
right.
is more so like when you plug in Neuralink, another Elon Musk thing. Just wait for that fucking thing to come this year.
807. That seems low.
807.
That seems
Yeah, that
low.
does seem
That
low
seems
for the
low.
amount of games
Yeah.
that are out.
Anyway,
Now you know.
Now you know. 807.
807 Pokemon.
gotta
You heard it here
catch 'em
first.
all.
I do. I truly do.
Hey, Fresh, I got one last question.
Well,
How do you get Pikachu on a bus? How do you get Pikachu onto a bus? You Pokemon.
Fuck's sakes.
God.
I hate myself just as much as you hate me.
I hate you a lot.
Yeah, I
lot.
probably hate myself more. Anyway,
Fuck.
So your primary concern with the rollout of 5G is not necessarily technological and the adverse effects of that technology itself, but more the economic monopoly and basically the dark conspiracy that could take place because of it.
I think to wrap it all into one is I fear for the smaller things because I actually do think this is you test this on rats. That's one thing out of a lot of things on the planet, and you experiment in cities with humans and rats. And that's just two things, but everybody tends to forget about all of the other things taking place. So
Yeah.
I fear for the nature of the small things. I fear for the capitalistic outlook on all these big companies and taking advantage of the middle class and the poor, which is already being done, but could be done to a worse degree.
Yeah.
Also, privacy concerns with the fast rate of data transfer and facial recognition, artificial
Sure,
intelligence. I
yeah.
mean, it's like a dystopian future. It's fucking crazy.
Sure.
I worry about the health effects on humans, because just to say, over a 10-year period of tests on rats, it did nothing. But what about 20 years? What about 30 years? We're going to live 40 years with cell phones. Do you know what I mean? It's not just 10 years. Like, we're going to be exposed to not only cell phones, computers, Wi-Fi, short range emission all the time. Hotspots. Every restaurant has Wi-Fi now. That's powered by microwaves. That's the extra high frequency shit. You got to remember that. Bluetooth in your cars. It's everywhere already, and now we're putting it even more places.
More everywhere.
We're like, it's just the mass compiling of shit hitting you, not just one thing, right? It's everything hitting you at once. I'm not a fan of the smart cities, the connectivity. I it's cool to look at in a movie, but I'm at a part where I just want to go live on a hobby farm and just fucking forget about the world.
Man, I'd love to have a hobby farm.
Right? And so I'm just kind of worried about it all, and people getting too wrapped up in convenience and losing morals, losing ethics, losing all of these important things which make us human, and essentially becoming dumbed down because you are now attached to a technological device that might be just spewing lies at you 100% of the time.
Dude, I watched this happen in real time, and it scares the shit out of me. And I'm not talking about like an 11-year-old who's always had a 3G or higher cell phone, like people in our age bracket, and you see them get fucking miserable and just be sad, and they're just like, what drug can I take to amend this, because that's the answer that's given to us. And really the drug is go be a person.
Yeah.
Go do the things that we evolved to do, because that's not much of what we do on a daily basis anymore.
Since we kind of touched a little on this on social aspects of all this, if you guys want to see something really fucked up, look up the Rat City experiment. Scare the fuck out of you.
I heard that song, Rat City bitch,
Rat City bitch, Rat City
it was,
bitch. What you gonna fucking with?
This guy, this guy was essentially funded. If I'm not mistaken, he was funded by the CIA to do this and social experiments with rats. It was pretty scary. I think you guys would find it really, really interesting.
Can you give me a very, very brief rundown of it?
Essentially, how society will crumble from convenience.
Yeah, that's
terrifying.
Yeah, I'd like to read up on that.
Yeah. But so for final thoughts, I actually wrote mine down when I was doing all my research.
I should have done
that.
that.
Okay, hold on. I want to before we do final thoughts, I want to say one more point, because I thought this was wild, and it's something that we didn't address at all. I didn't know if you guys had looked into this. But we were talking about the frequency ranges and everything, right? Another way that 5G is mega disruptive, and it doesn't necessarily have to be like this, but it's just because this is where they're looking at for optimum bands for frequency. So 23.8 gigahertz, I believe, is the optimum frequency for water vapor detection. It's very faint. It doesn't really interact with water vapor, but it's the area that it jumps out at most to weather detection equipment. And they are starting to auction the 5G bands at 24.25. And as you were saying, it's muddy. There's spillover. Nothing is a fine line with these sorts of things. So they are estimating that we would lose over 70% of relevant weather data.
Wow.
And it would set weather technology back to like the mid 20th century if we do that with 5G, which is scary on a completely different level, because it's like hurricanes, which are now becoming worse.
Well, the extreme weather conditions constantly getting worse.
Yeah, good point, Mickey. Good point. So we would lose basically all of that predictability.
Yeah.
Just for what? I don't fucking know.
Man, a whole line of work just gone. Meteorologist, no more.
Yeah, they're fucking wrong anyway. Okay, I got one last thing.
Sure.
Okay.
Before final thoughts, too.
Yes.
That I forgot to touch on this. But apparently, radio waves. There was an analogy with farmers. You can relate radio waves with farmland, and how you have to organize in variety and quantity, because once you take up that space can't be taken up again. You know what I mean? So the wave can only travel in a direction at that certain frequency. So that's why they're doing beaming as opposed to like what 3G and 4G do, where it just sprays out the
beaming?
connection. It beams like to your phone. Like it's like they can
It's direct.
target. It's direct. So in a sense, like 4G can connect 1/10 of the amount of devices 5G can,
Okay.
because it's just so loose and scattered everywhere. This
Got
is
it,
like
okay.
more direct. So it goes to what you were saying, the interference of the weather
Yeah.
technology. Think of all the other things that we don't even fucking know, because like
Right.
you said, we're just three dudes talking about it. But what that operate at these frequencies, this, you know, everything vibrates. Everything does have a frequency. So what is going to be interrupted? That's nothing I could find. I couldn't find anything on any. It was only cancer and thermal. I didn't find anything, and it was only humans and rats. There was nothing else done or said about living any other living thing. Plants, like I don't fucking know. What's it gonna do to plants? I have
Right.
no fucking idea. Do you? No, we don't know. This is why I'm saying we need more studies on things like this. Because, I mean, who fucking knows what it could do in the long run? Who knows what 2G could do in the long run?
Well, it's
Yeah,
interesting because he brought
right.
up how like we did studies for only X amount of years. Like, so it's what they did it for, what 10 years?
10 years to rats that before they were born. While they're in
So-
their mother's wombs for the rest of their life.
So, but how long have we had this technology for? Been ongoing.
Yeah, I don't know if it
30
was
years.
actually 5G.
Well,
this is the thing. Like, I don't know what gigahertz it was at. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, that's
All
what
I know is it was exposed to them 18 minutes on, 18 minutes off for 10 years, constantly. So, like, that's what I mean. It's so muddy. There's so many different frequencies, so many different uses, and it keeps kind of moving, right? They don't really know what's ionizing and non-ionizing. They know that gamma rays will do it, will fuck you up. And they
Right.
know that low end radio frequency won't.
Right.
But everything in the middle is kind of just like, yeah, we kind of know that, we kind of know this, and we did these tests, and so it's kind of a gamble, and with the amount of time, and like I said, there's just so many fucking variables with this kind of shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's the variables that make it scary, right? Because you go like, but it says like, oh, we did it on rats and humans, but like I said,
what about bees, pollinators? What about plants? What about just anything
Oh,
other than humans?
Sometimes I wonder about those experiments though, and it is just this is bullshit that I just pulled out of my head
Right,
right
right.
now. But imagine they put a bunch of bees in a box
bees in a box.
and they put the 5G waves directed at them, or at least what it would be like in a city or what have you, and they say, "Oh, shit! All these bees are dying," and then like Steve, the intern, comes in and they go, "Steve, did you feed the bees?" And he goes, "Nah, man." And then you're like, "Oh, well, they all died," and it's like, "Oh," but then they put the study out like
Yeah, it's like fucking Steve didn't feed the bees, so they died from starving.
5G Steve, and for the rest of your life. I
Yeah.
don't know.
And it's like, who understands bees? Do they even know about bees?
I don't know.
That's what I mean.
I know
Like-
a guy who knows about water coldness.
Yeah, we need him on here.
Yeah, we got to get him on and talk about that. But yeah, I don't
So,
know.
well, it's just to kind of add on to that. It's like the effect this guy was talking about pop and the negative effects it has on us, and he's using Coca-Cola as the example. He's like, "Oh, I can take the rust off a blank. Oh, but we're not using it for that. We're drinking it."
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's-
dude, that video I sent you guys on Reddit today about how they're developing new ways to sell sugar because people are becoming more aware, so they're hiding it. And
I didn't even see that one.
oh, really? I sent you one where this guy had like a can of this drink for kids because of the energy gap, and that's not even a real disease. But what they're doing is like saying per 15 grams, there's like a ridiculous amount. It's like 10 grams of sugar. So like a quarter or half of this container, like a powder mix, is like
Yeah.
all sugar, and they're selling it as like a health drink to get kids
Oh my
energy up.
Christ.
And that's how they're doing this. And it's like, then he did the orange juice, and it was no sugar added versus the original brand. The original brand was $5 cheaper, no sugar added, contained more fucking sugar by 5 grams per serving. It was insane. But you're paying $11, and people will do it because they're like, oh, no sugar added.
Huh.
$11 carton of juice. It's fucked up. Anyway,
I don't even buy juice. Ever since I learned about complex
that.
fibers, I don't even buy juice.
juice is junk. It's just
It
sugar
is.
water, bro.
It's actually like garbage. It's not
It's
even actually
garbage.
good
It's
for you.
just as bad as pop.
And I think nutrition is a good thing to drag into this because one, it's us, but two, because you talk about fucking unknowns. We've been eating for all of human history, and we know nothing.
Yeah, or
You know?
No,
it's not that we know nothing.
Not nothing,
it's
but like
we don't fully
suppression
understand.
of knowledge as well, man. That is a
Also
thing.
suppression
And I'm
of
not
knowledge,
I'm not
yeah.
going to say it's 100% there, but sugar is addicting. Right?
Yeah.
It's like
Yes.
selling a drug.
it is.
Same with
Literally,
caffeine.
so is cheese. Cheese has an
it's all-
addictive.
It's
Yeah.
You're right, and it's just like, okay, like we found that. Let's exploit the psychology behind it,
Mm-hmm.
and let's make a fuck ton of money, and make it look good, make it look
Mm-hmm.
wholesome, make it look healthy.
Even the fact that like okay, so we got people marketing things to try and exploit that in our biology because it is biology. It's not just psychology.
Right.
It's
Oh,
which
I
are,
should-
go
yes.
together, of course.
Yes, you are. Yeah, 100% correct.
But like that should be in school. And that is a failure of society that we haven't
Yes.
told everyone. It, in the same vein as like look out for smoking, look out for sugar. And I'm not like a sugar alarmist. Like eat a cookie, you want a fucking cookie, go
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
it. But like this is how it gets bad.
Yeah.
You know?
Food blindness, plant blindness. This is a thing that my child, and if you guys have kids, the younger generation are going to grow up from. They go to a, I asked my daughter, where's bacon from?
Mm-hmm.
The store.
Hmm.
No, it's a pig, and she goes, ah!
Yeah.
And she's only 4, but like I tried to explain to her, like, Daddy doesn't eat that. I'm not trying to push my views. I'm just letting her know why I don't eat bacon because she always comes up and tries to give me a piece of bacon. And I tell her, and it's going to continue to be, people are completely ignorant on what they put in their body.
I thought you were gonna just say because it's like $9 a pack now
For what?
for bacon.
Is that cheap?
I don't know.
I don't even know, man. Anyway. Final thoughts, I guess, on this
Yeah.
one. There's a lot.
There's a lot. My final thought for 5G is my final thought for life in general. Just be skeptical, not cynical. Apply rational, logical inquiry, and I don't know. Just don't fucking freak out. Oh, and be a person. Remember, think back about what like people are supposed to do. Think about what we evolved to do: eat, sleep, be active, procreate. That's essentially the only biological meaning of life. So,
Right.
so anything else you want to superimpose on yourself, that's fine. But just remember, the further you deviate from those things, it's gonna hurt.
Yep.
Really interesting. I like that. That's really good. I'm sorry. I just really enjoyed that.
No, that's okay. I'm just
You don't
letting
have
you-
to be sorry for appreciating
I'm
me.
just looking-
I appreciate you,
Oh,
bro.
sweet.
All right. What about you, Mickey?
So I kind of focus more so on technology and possibly more being not more aware of the negative outcomes, I guess. So just kind of bear with me on that. So I understand the importance of growth in technology in an ever acceleratingly growing world. I had to make sure acceleratingly was actually a word.
Oh, yeah. I would have done that as well.
But these issues of health and long-term side effects seem to constantly be overlooked or ignored. Again, what is the point of having the best technologies if they kill us? Surely the best technologies shouldn't come with such a long warning label. I guess as long as the universe knows we were the best, as long as the universe doesn't know, we killed ourselves for it.
Yeah. I mean,
Dude, that just
some
depressed the fuck out of me.
deep, dark, poetic, depressing shit.
It was good. It was good. It was an interesting thought.
I'm touching on
kind
my
of
more
alarmist, but
poetic side. That's what I mean. Like just kind of because I did this completely individual and I had no one to kind of talk to about this. I'm like, we're all fucked, man. We're all fucked.
are you sure you didn't get that from Slick? That sounds like a Slick line.
Hey, there you go.
really.
All right, Slick, what's your final thoughts? Hold on, let me guess. It's all bullshit.
The end. No, 5G sounds kind of cool, in a way, but don't fucking buy into everything. I'm with you. Remember, you're a person. Do people things, which I have to focus on more. Don't get sucked into the gimmick, which is technology. And I say that loosely because technology can definitely help us, but a lot of it's a gimmick. A lot of it's not a necessity, like Facebook, like Instagram. And just be aware of how addicting these things are. And just because a company can say, you know, oh, look at, you can load your gram posts faster. You can check people's Facebook. You know, you can play video games fast. Like, they're just buying into what you're already addicted to. And so I just think it's like I always say almost on every episode now, be fucking self-aware and aware of what is happening around you, to your friends, to your family, to you, and what is being told to you, and just be skeptical the best you can.
Yeah, church, baby.
But at the same time, like, yeah, 5G sounds kind of cool. If it all works out and it doesn't kill everyone and fry our brains and blah, 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 then I don't really see an issue. My problem is that I don't think enough has been done, or at least they haven't been transparent with it enough.
Well, I think you completely dismissed what you were saying, or not dismissed, but omitted what you were saying earlier about the economic threat. And honestly, I think that's a bigger concern.
What do you mean?
About domination of all of human life as these technologies are further integrated into
that's already going to happen.
Cities, homes, etc. Oh, okay.
That you can't stop that unless there's some radical movement that just literally disables electricity. Like that is going to happen. It's already been decided. It's been decided long ago, probably back in the fucking 60s. That's the way the world's going to go. Technology is going to dominate. So, like, I can't really say don't take part in it, because if you want to live in a populous area or an urban area, you're going to be involved with it. But just be aware while you're there. You know, I'm not going to buy a 5G phone because I don't need one.
Right.
So don't go out and spend, $2,000 on a 5G phone and $400 on a car.
Yeah, you don't need a new iPhone. You don't need the
That's
new
what
iPhone.
I'm saying, is be aware while you're involved in it, because really it is kind of inevitable right now.
Okay, fair enough. So, shouts to Benny, Big Ben, for always supporting us. Just want to say that. We really appreciate you, man, and your promotion, your feedback. Shouts to everybody for listening, tuning in. You can find us on Fresh Like a Mick, or at Fresh Like a Mick on Instagram or Facebook. Hit us up on that Gmail, Fresh Like a Mick. That's Fresh Like AND Mick. Spell it out, bitch. At gmail.com.
Oh, jeez.
If you got any feedback, questions, comments, hate mail, all that good stuff. And my last thought for the night is call bullshit on your cell phone provider.